What's up there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Galaxy Battle 4. My name's Sir Danny. I'm joined here by lovely MNJ. And fact of the matter is, this is no regular best of 3 matchup. It is grand final time here at Galaxy Battle 4. And of course, Josh, we got some teams here. We got Koi, we got TNL, but I don't care about that. Right now, I care about you. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, looking forward to this. It's been quite an interesting playoffs bracket, hasn't it? Let's be honest. It was very, very bottom heavy, let's say, in those sort of two lower ends of the bracket. We had 9 Koi and Gaming Gladiators all within those 2 matches, and it meant that actually it was super contentious. And there's a little look at the bracket right there, right? It feels like the hardest hitters are down in those lower quarterfinals matches, which does mean that TNL have been able to make a bit of a Cinderella run. And I'll be honest, right? Super surprising to me that they beat Monty Gen and Navi Jr. Like, very impressive stuff. But yeah, it feels like a bit of a blessing that they were in that top end of the bracket, and now they find themselves in this grand final position. So they've already bagged themselves a few $1,000s of prize money, and they're looking for that top spot. Now, it's going to be a really tough game. I'm going to be honest. This is a bit of a David and Goliath story. Koi are a very good team on paper. I think they haven't been amazing recently. I think, there's definitely been a drop-off in performance for these guys this year, but they're still a very good team with huge experience.
They definitely have experience under their belt. We haven't really gone into the minutia that, they had a bit of a roster change. Just a week ago, they brought in Sosol instead of Just, which is kind of funny because just a year ago, Just was brought into the team to replace Sosol and to bring in more sort of firepower in the mix. And now they're bringing in Sosol back instead of Just. So that was just like one little detail. But of course, we also have the veto. So no surprises there as well. I mean, Koi removed Dust 2, which is a pretty big hit, I'd say, for the squad of TNL because they really prefer playing that map. TNL removed Vertigo, that makes sense. And of course, up next, we will have the map pick of Koi that is going to be Nuke, despite how difficult it might have been for them to close out that map recently. It's overall a pretty okay one. And of course, Mirage, a first map of the best of 3. And TNL looks like they're not going to overcomplicate things. It might just be a simple commitment on the bomb side. We see the players walking out there, Sosol taking his sweet time, but now the bomb side is in the hands of TNL.
Okay, not a bad start here, to be honest. 3v3, they've got that C4 ticking away as well. Davik does find an important pick, but Yukitoro takes one right back the other way. Zogan's in a good position too, as they both come up from short. It's quite difficult to clear that right-hand window. Needed to land ahead there, though. Now his cover's blown, and he's still worried about his backside. Stododo, though, he's disconnected. It's a disastrous time for it. MR12, the pistol has so much weight on it, and this one has to go in the bin. Davik wanted to save that Kevlar. He's actually taking a bit of damage now, so maybe not as much justification to do so, but there's nothing to play for anymore. He will get out with that armor. It's going to be a TNL round. Maybe a bit of luck on their side, but still a brilliant pistol from them.
Yeah, I would also argue that it was a pretty simple pistol round as well, and this is the one thing we can definitely expect out of TNL because I already had a chance to see this team play in some of the earlier iterations of Galaxy Battle, and sometimes, they'd make it to the quarters, or even, I believe, in Galaxy Battle 3, they might have made it to the semis, but never have they ever reached the grand final. This is their first big chance, and fact of the matter is as well, like, if I were to describe this team stylistically, I would say that it is a very fast-paced team, right? These guys, they will finish the round usually before the 40-second mark. There are a few instances of them setting up for like a Blade-style execute, but those happen actually very rarely throughout a sort of map or even a best of 3. Instead, they seem to have a game plan at the start of the round, and usually they stick to it. Now, which I think it's kind of fair to call this a very archaic style of Counter-Strike. This is something more reminiscent of early CSGO. You're not going to see a lot of, say, mid-round calls from TNL, but usually those sort of set plays they set out to do, they usually work out for them. And even against squads like Monty Jen, Navi Jr., that has given them the necessary wins. And going up against a squad like Koi, I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but we'll have to wait and see. And right now, it is Force by Central here.
Yeah, this is a buy that's, I guess, got some teeth behind it for Koi. But it's by no means favourable. A couple of Desert Eagles in the hands of some serious aimers, though. South Sol and Mopos could definitely be difference makers with those hand cannons. Slow and steady so far, though. Minute 10 left on this clock. Mid-control somewhat taken here by TNL. Those smokes will now confirm that. They start to route their way up short and connector. And the scout, oh, it's coming desperately close, but no cigar.
They have to be so careful of the ladder room position, and they have even 3 players to clear it out. So good job for TNL. This is not the end of the round just yet. Koi are making the swift rotate towards the bomb site. So far, so good for TNL. Barely any casualties. And in this round, when you also have a player in the form of Zogan who could just stop any rotations from happening, maybe even catch a few players off guard. Yeah, this round is absolutely over, but some of those players are incredibly low at HP.
Yeah, you can definitely do some damage here. Oh, man. How does Zogan get away there? Just 10 points of health. I mean, the round's definitely gone, but if he can take a couple down with him, could certainly make it expensive for TNL. And really, early doors, if you're not winning rounds, that's the most important thing to do, to be honest, to keep your opponent's economy honest. The last thing you want is TNL going sort of 2-3-0 up and also having $6,000-$7,000 in the bank. Doesn't press any harder for it, though. Once this scout in the next, it's going to be an eco round. He's got enough money for an AWP in the follow-up. Everybody else for the rifles, but yeah, TNL should get another freebie here.
Yeah, that should definitely be the case. And in a round like this, spreading out quite thin is not going to be as necessary as what we saw in the previous round. I feel like you might as well just stick together, group up, hit one of the bomb sites, just use that manpower as well as firepower advantage to your, well, advantage. In this round, though, we still have one player lingering about the B bomb site. I guess he's just going to try to get some rotations in. He's just chucking in the Molotov for good measure, making noise, whereas the real push is happening towards A.
There's an eagle. Victim of a drive-by. And 2-man advantage. A site obtained and no trouble at all. And look at Zogan's position here. Doesn't want to show any mercy this round. No survivors. That Mac 10. Hungry for the hunts. There is a Zeus on the other side of Murder Hole, which could be dangerous, but no. Zogan will take a double. Yukitoro with another, and TNL off to a lightning start. And a flawless round there. No casualties whatsoever. Really, really clean.
Yeah, that's obviously good for the T-set economy, and it's good to see that Koi, they're coming into this first gun run of theirs, and they have saved up a fair amount of cash, because sometimes when you get to see a team making the first gun round of the CT set, usually they're lacking in terms of utility, but in the case of Koi, I think they're pretty happy with what they can offer us. Right about now, this is the sort of playstyle I expect out of TNL. They usually have some sort of game plan in mind, and they're just going to stick to it. This time around, it is the B play. We do have the player of the back 10 moving in first, but is he deadly? No. Mopos takes care of him. No bomb plant just yet, and Mopos sitting on the edge of the smoke will be punished, though. Onyx picking up another impressive frag. Remember, Stadodo still in short. Can be a lethal player in that position, and now Yukitoro and Onyx just looking, waiting for opportunities, and there's one, but SoSol comes out on top. Onyx, will he? Oh, that is a disgusting spray, but that's gonna 1v2.
He hasn't got the bullets. That smoke's going to give him a bit of space, though. He could tuck himself behind his pillar and reload. Still, he just wants to do it with... Oh, no, he has reloaded. All right, managed to slip it in while the camera was pointed away. This is still doable. And that is the first piece to topple. Southsalt caught with his pants down. He knows where the last man is. It's Stododo. He's low and he's towards short. And Onyx managed to slip the net. In fact, maybe he doesn't know that Stododo's towards short. He's still looking at jungle. Timing is impeccable. Orpa's not going to see him. And this is a round of smokes and mirrors. Stododo's still wondering what the hell is going on. He sat behind bench thinking maybe Onyx clearing market and he'll be back onto the B site in a moment. That's not the case. And Onyx has got all of the space and time in the world to get this plant to take a better position. And Stododo has got the wrong weapon for this retake.
Oh boy, no defuse kit as well. He's just waiting for an opportunity, but let's be real, 20 seconds have passed and he's just so far behind. He knows this round is practically donezo. He's not even going to attempt to go for it. So an unbelievable clutch coming out from Onyx. Like this guy, Onyx, throughout the entirety of the playoffs at Galaxy Battle 4, I mean, he's just been winning 1vx situations left and right. And I think he might have won something like 5 1v1s just in the playoffs alone, and this is going to be his second 1v3 clutch he's able to win. So he's been absolutely amazing in the clutch department, and here it's no different, despite the fact that initially, yeah, there were some troubles entering the B bomb site. 4 rounds already, and coming into this, well, you could say on paper, yeah, Koi seems to be the better team, but then again, TNL, I don't know what it is, but these guys are like, individually, this is a very sound team, and it's no wonder that they end up picking a map like Mirage.
I know it's very early doors, and Koi are a team that obviously deserve a lot of respect, but they have been massively underwhelming recently. I really have struggled to sort of get behind these guys. I think time and time again, they've proven that there's some serious issues with this roster. And even the recent change, and you kind of hit the nail on the head earlier in the pregame, bringing Southsol back in for just doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, Southsol's a great player, but they took him out because there were problems. They brought in Just. Those problems weren't fixed. Southsol in that time went to Copenhagen Wolves on a trial where things didn't work out there for him either. And to fix those issues, they're then bringing him back in again, and I don't know what they're expecting that to sort of solve here. But yeah, as I said, it's been massively underwhelming recently, and I really hope for their sake that they can sort of claw this back and keep this grand finals competitive, because right now TNL are running all over them, and just no respect. A shot from Gavik, but everybody else crumbling under the pressure here.
Again, we're seeing that fast-paced counter-strike from TNL, which is something, again, you just don't really get to see it that often. Especially on the T side, you know, you get to see those slow-paced rounds, right? We're going to take mid control, then perhaps a little bit of a fake towards the B bomb side, then maybe a commitment on the A side. Perhaps we could have a split through middle as well. But TNL, like I said, from the get-go, you have some sort of game plan, like in this round, just go B. They chuck in the smoke grenades, flashbangs as well, and that's it. Like, their setups are very simplistic, which kind of feels like it's the... It definitely works in this level of CS, right? Because teams, they're still expecting that, okay, maybe this is not going to be like the full-on commitment, right? Chances are they still have so much time on the clock, they're not just going to go for the all-out execute, right? And I feel like they've been able to catch their opponents off guard time and time again. At the same time, not sure if it's going to be a sustainable sort of play style in the nearby future, but you got to admit, it's definitely working against Koi and Mirage.
It certainly is. Something I want to point out, right? I don't know if it's a bit of BM or if it's...
All right?
I don't know. Take a look at Onyx AK. He's got the Koi craft. He's got the Koi stick. It's his AK. I saw it before and I was like, oh yeah, he's picked that up off an enemy. It's not. It's an AK. So yeah, he's rocking the 4 Koi craft on his AK-47. I think it looks good. Maybe it's just, you know, a coincidence.
A coincidence. I see what you did there, Josh.
A coincidence. I didn't mean to.
And yet you did.
Well, round number 6 underway, and Koi have at least got some tools to work with, but... from underpass, putting the pressure on, spamming away through Connector.
This is where you could see boys at TNL slowing things down for just a moment, a brief moment it looks like, because look at this, Karn, he gets the opener on the A side again. From here on out, I'm not sure if they're just gonna slow it. No, I think TNL will just continue moving forward as Zogan finds perfect timing on the second player as well. Like, that's it. That's, again, the A side fallen. TNL will have 6 rounds to their name, and Koi, I mean, not much of a response. You gotta admit, like, they're just being caught out time and time again. And I feel like if you want to battle against a squad that is unpredictable as this, you yourself have to become just a bit more unpredictable. And I wouldn't be too surprised if, let's say, maybe not the upcoming round, but maybe in the next few rounds from Koi, we will see some of that counter-aggression coming in, because right now, I feel like they're respecting TNL too much, and that should not be the case. Koi, you've got way more experience under your belt. This is a very tactically sound team as well. So that's what I'm expecting out of them, you know, to try to fight fire with fire moving forward.
It's still been a beautiful start from TNL in the grand finals. That, yeah, no doubt they're the underdogs here. A little bit of insight from Twitch chat. Just was actually benched because of health problems, which is interesting. I didn't know that that was the case. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away from the fact that these guys have been underwhelming recently. And these buy rounds are really where you expect to see a bit of bite back from Koi, and frankly there's been very little of it. They have got another investment courtesy of a couple of weapons saved in that last and the max loss bonus. Going into round number 7, this is where they really need to start turning things around. MR12 going 6-0 down, gives your opponents about a 78% chance of winning the map, I think, which is just ridiculous. And again, it's another beautiful entry. Dodo just caught with handstand.
Dodo, I respect what he was trying to go there for. Oh, what the hell? We got a Goomba stomp going on, but nothing major. Still, it is TNL in the lead firmly. A 4v3 retake on A. Now, I do feel like A bomb side retakes are just a tad bit more doable, especially because there are still some utility remaining. Oh no, Stomach is able to trade that one. Not a bad situation. Carry's just gonna keep on pushing. Like, these guys, instead of, you know, having their very good positions on the A bomb site, you can see they're more than happy that, you know what, I'm just gonna go for this fight. Doesn't matter if I have a teammate or not, and they just win those fights. Like, that is insane how well TNL is playing individually. They're just winning every single gunfight it feels like.
Yeah, TNL are starting to sort of get into flow state here a little bit, aren't they? And not show a lot of respect. Obviously, that first pick that came in Palace had Dodo's number, just wrapped around the pillars. His timing was brilliant. And then every gunfight, as you say, just comes with full confidence. That's not something that you inherently have going into a game, but it's something that you build quite quickly when you go 6-7-0 up. It's the epitome of what we're seeing here. Quick tack pause for Koi to work out what the hell's going wrong. Right here could be a turning point, and it needs to be, right? If they win this round, they start to string together a few, we could still see it at 7-5 and 8-4 half. That's very, very recoverable. If they don't, and this continues to just swing in the TNL shelf, then this map's done.
One thing I'd definitely like to see is perhaps some sort of like a frustration meter. Because on the side of Koi, I think like it's maxing out right now. It's making those weird noises you get from a Geiger counter near, let's say, an open reactor in Chernobyl. So I think those guys are fuming.
Oh man, it's really going crazy with the clicks.
that was more like a bird. But Tomac, like, he doesn't give a damn. Again, pushed it through, gets a thrag. This is where we find that opening on the A bomb site. Becomes a lot easier, and once again, get that bomb planted out in the open. 5v4 retake. Look at Onyx, aggressive position. Win. Oh, doesn't win the duel. All right. Maybe there's still a chance to get back into this, but some of the positions are really awkward. We still have a Player in window. I believe that is Mopaz with the auto shotty in... Oh, T-spawn. T's now, of course. It's rough.
It's rough.
It's really rough.
Yeah, that's certainly one way of putting it.
There's an 8-0 scoreline. T-side Mirage. Now, I gotta say, like, perhaps if you're going up against a squad like TNL, I would assume Koi will find more success on the T side, especially once we move on over to that second map of the best of 3, because Nuke, I'll say this, Nuke for Koi, despite how difficult it has been for them to close out this map when they have like a pretty good lead from the first half, like 8-4 and 9-3, that tactical ability of Koi should be able to spearhead them to victory, I feel like, on that second map. Right now, though, once again, I mean, I like the change-up. This is exactly what I was talking about. I want to see Koi playing aggressive, and you can see now TNL, they're more than happy to just wait a little bit longer. Like, we haven't seen them play this passive in top mid, like, every single time. By this point, they'd be already in bottom mid. They might even go for some gunfights in connector or underpass. And now, this one round, they decide to play it slow, and it's just really messing up, I'd say, the mental of Koi.
Ooh. Again! It's a round that they start off with a brutal disadvantage, but just when you think, alright, he's in a good position, he could go 1-for-1 here, or even do a little bit more, inflict some damage, he gets absolutely rolled. I don't know, like, this map's done. I'm certain this map's done. But I don't know how you sort of mentally reset from this, as Koi, obviously going on to Nuke, it's a very different map with a very different blueprint, and I don't see a world that TNL just sort of have this this same sort of control over the power plant. But let's say they just get nothing out of Mirage. They go down without a fight. It's a 13-0, a 13-2, anything sort of close to that scoreline. Grand Finals takes a lot to sort of mentally reset. Come into that second map with something better. It's something that we've seen Koi sort of struggle on. They just about got it over the line yesterday in OT against the Gaming Gladiators. We also saw it on in one of the playoffs as well against 9, where again they were able to win it, but it went to overtime. In previous tournaments, I've seen them play Nuke and actually really struggle against lower caliber opponents. So whilst it is their map and it's one that they play and just about scrape wins on, it's never a definite, I feel.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that front as well, because the fact is, for a team like Koi, their map pool has been pretty shaken, as evident by, well, their run here in Galaxy Battle 4. They have played in total 12 maps of Counter-Strike ever since the groups, right? And my criteria of, let's say, a convincing win would be in the margin between 13-0, and 13-6, I'd say, something like that. And the only win they have in the sort of convincing manner was against ENCE Academy in a 13-4 fashion. Every single other map has been an OT game, a 13-11, something like 13-10, 13-9, like, they have not been convincing here in Galaxy Battle 4, just about edging their victory against their opponents like Gaming Gladiators, 9. But again, not convincing victories. I feel like their map right now is really shaky. Next map coming up, Nuke. Like, sure, they have sound fundamentals on that map. They're a tactically sound team as well, but they're just losing every single gunfight. So tactics be damned if you're not hitting shots. But finally, we see an opener for Koi.
Out of Palace, though. Look at Onyx position. Oh, it's a huge whiff from Adam S. He almost ends up losing the gunfight as a result. Ken has a good chance to tie this back up. I don't know why Davik's getting aggressive like that. I really don't understand it. They've got a 2-man advantage, and there is no need for him to be pushing underpass. Just like there's no need for Adam to be pushing Palace. What are they doing? Now a 3-on-3. And look, Stododo's rotation's going to be hurt. They're going to walk right onto B and get a free plant. This is terrible from Koi.
This is not good as go at all. Like, this is a very premature call. And this is, well, Mopaz, he's gonna think, wait, there is a guy there in the A bomb set, but they should be able to hear the utility being deployed on the B bomb set, and this 2v3 still. TNL is in really solid positions. And a very long rotate from Koi, so just because of that, 10 good seconds have been wasted just to rotate from A, enter the B bomb set, and of course, Yukitoro hits that one. 2 players left standing. They really gotta hurry up right now, and Karn's position is perfect. He gets the one. Yukitoro with the response. And once again, TNL close it out. The aggressive maneuvers from Koi, once they have that 5v4, don't work out at all. Perhaps you could even go far as to say it was detrimental for them.
That's the worst round we've seen so far this game from Koi. I mean, massive kudos to the resilience from TNL to claw that back after being in the 5-on-3. But I have no idea what Koi are doing there. That was terrible. That was terrible Counter-Strike. And it feels pretty inexcusable when, you know, you take there's only 2-man advantage, you go untraded as well. So you're in a great position to finally put a round on the board. And individually, you just don't have a leash on your players. They go and take it one by one duels and losing them. Leaving the door wide open for TNL. Already on to 10. Looking for more. Stomac, again, he's been so consistent with these entry frags. They're not going to clear the firebox. And Adam S will get 2. And keep them on their toes. A man advantage again here for Koi. Surely, we don't see the same fumble as last round.
We gotta look towards T-Spawn to find the answer. You can see Mopaz in a pretty good position. Is Zoe gonna clear it? No, I think he won't. So he's gonna hear a lot of intel, even get a frag like that. So at this point, they can fully focus on the A-bomb side, but Yukitoro, problem is, still 2 players to go up against. Bomb in the hands of Mopaz. You will have backup coming shortly. I don't really see a world in which Koi lose this one. They gotta win it. I mean, Yukitoro, he might just push through a smoke, maybe even find a bit of a gap. Oh, this is scary. But Mopaz gets the better of him, and just like that, Koi will pick up the round. The first and perhaps only here on the first half of Mirage.
Yeah, this has been a very, very one-sided affair. And as I say, I hope that this theme doesn't continue. Going into map number 2. The TNL have been impressive. They've been really impressive. They're hungry for an 11th here before this half comes to a close. Davik under pressure. Onyx already up short. And the AWP on the angle too late. Stomac again with the entry.
Wow.
And I'm not even sure they have the information that Onyx here in ladder room. I mean, they'll have to know now. They've had no eyes on mid for a good 10 seconds. Aggression into the apartments. Adam, yeah, no chance in that fight. And TNL are just all over Koi here.
Doing a fantastic job as well. Some really sound CS2 fundamentals. Just swing out wide and usually you win the fight. That was a great example from Stomac. Moppa's still up close. Surely Onyx doesn't get out of here alive.
Wow.
Oh no, that's Sogan picking up a frag. Oh no, it's all falling to pieces. Once again, as the B bomb side will have the plant of TNL. Of course, Onyx tries to make his way out of here. I think he tried to chuck in the nade and try to use it as a sort of dust cover to evade the bullets, but fact is, I just don't see the really working against a team like Koi. Well, Davik, gonna try. Give us his best shot, but that will be the end of the first half. Might as well be the end of the first map. We're talking about an 11-1 lead for TNL. They have been phenomenal on the T side, and we can wax lyrical about, oh, you know, they played some really good Counter-Strike. I just felt like they just hit their shots, right? I just feel like TNL was able to hit every single duel they went up against, every single shot. And you can take a look at on the left-hand side, you can't even say that some of those players have been just fragging out of their minds. I mean, they've just been hitting their shots, to be honest.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to be said for just great entries. Like, It's really surprising to me that Stomach's only 4 and 8, because actually in those closing rounds, consistently, at least 3 times, said, oh wow, look, Stomach's just flown out and found the entry kill. He seemed to do that really well towards the tail end of that half, but really it was Ken and Zogan and Yukitoro actually putting up the big numbers. Here we go. If they can win the pistol round, then this is just game over. That's for sure. They've already found the entry. I mean, yeah, spoiled, but taking the mid control. There's something there for Davig if he can connect a second head. There it is. Now the number's back in their favour, and they've kind of got a snake in the grass. They've got a man behind enemy lines. Oh, so TNL, look at Onyx position.
Oh, he should be good with
Oh, no.
Lewis. Oh, he's struggling. He's struggling way too much there. Oh, no, what's this? You got Karn on the bomb site already with 3 big frags in stomach. Being left in a 1v1 in the Spanish mano y mano. Oh, he's not aware of his position, though, so maybe Stododo has sort of advantage coming into this, but he seems to be aware that... Oh, there we go. Spots out the player. HP advantage for Stomach, and he wins the clutch as well. Not a lot of frags, but truly some impactful frags, and it's no wonder TNL have 12 rounds, and, well, pistol round or bust? Yeah, I felt like Koi, they were supposed to win that if they still wanted to, I don't know, make this first map competitive at least.
Wow. It's so bizarre, right? Observer does the right thing there to stay on board with the flank. Like, it very much looked like Onyx was going to find a big double kill. He completely whiffs it, but actually it's enough of a distraction that they're both then looking at their backside. That's where Kane can just swing and find a 2-piece of his own. It's a decent start from Koi. They found 2, make that 3. Maybe a world that they keep their heads above water for another couple of seconds here. Salso could have done with that shot without it. The health is low. Zogan, another switcheroo into the rifle. They're aware this bomb's headed over towards the B site. Whilst they won't be there to catch him on the cross, they could still deny this plant.
It's still doable, especially with the weapons they have at their disposal. HP is quite low for players of Koi. Oh, they should get, yep, an easy frag on Adam. That is the bomb being dropped. Stododo reveals his position. And if Zogan can isolate this gunfight, might have an easier time against Mopaz, but oh no, he actually dies there, Stododo. Zogan,
he knows.
No, he knows. Oh, but he knows that he has taken the hit, falls dead on his knees, and that will be at least a second victory for Koi.
I want to take a second to jump into Koi's history here on Mirage, right? Because this is a team that,
Sure,
until not so long ago, were playing in Pro League. And whilst they've taken a couple of losses here on Mirage, this was back in September, they took G2 to the distance. They lost it 13-10. They actually lost 13-0 to Mongols. And I remember that game. That was like the first... I think it was maybe the first 13-0 that we'd seen in Pro League in CS2. There was something historic about that match. So it sort of teased them up here as a team that maybe have had their confidence knocked a little bit here on Mirage. But a round that comes desperately close from TNL. It's a real shame they're not able to close it out there. They took a brutal disadvantage at the start. They did very well to recover it to the point that they did. Round number 15 could be the final one for them. They do just have those upgraded pistols, though.
yeah, that's not a lot to work with for most teams. But for TNL, it might just do the trick. It's right about now. They have a stack towards the A bombs. They're not going to waste any of our time. Go for the ramp push. They'll soon figure out there's not a single player in T-spawn. That will, of course, give them loads of intel that perhaps you got to focus towards mid as well as the B bomb side. But then again, Koi is just, they're playing sound CS. They're taking map control. They're being very methodical about it. But Stododo is got intel. He knows there could be a potential push. He's able to spot at least one of these players, is expecting more, but also, he's the bomb carrier, and he's kind of alone here. So if somehow Karn wins the duel, that's the bomb being dropped.
Ooh. It's a big kill from Zogan. And the problem is they've lost space just about everywhere else. And Koi winning this round will actually force TNL onto an eco. Maybe a chance for them to just accumulate a couple more here. AK's recovered. Yukitoro still has a bit of fight left in him. That's a lovely shot. If Stomac can delay here, maybe find a kill or two on this bomb site, this becomes very plausible. And he's just spotted one looking the wrong way, but no! He thinks that the bomb's being planted on the other side of the box. It's not. It's reverse triple. It's not planted for Ramp. Yukitoro, yeah, no real choice but to save this AK, I guess. I mean, the problem is with it is his teammates aren't going to have money to buy around him in the next round anyway. Given the margin for error that they have, I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe try and force around this and just have another crack at a pistol round. But it is dangerous. Like, you do have to be careful in these situations. Even though you're 12-2 up and you just think, let's just get it over the line. Let's just keep force buying deagles until it works. Sometimes you do have to keep your head screwed on. This is a grand final. And you are against a big fish, and that's Koi.
Reference game on point.
Yeah, I know. I thought, as I was saying it, I was like, oh yeah, this is good, because Koi's actually a fish. That's crazy. Just a wordsmith.
Well, 12-3. And Koi, if you want to keep on playing against TNL, well, I like the fact that in the previous round, we had a fella like Stadodo was just in the back lines, you know, expecting that, yeah, there's a big chance these guys have been playing aggressive on the T side. They might just keep on playing aggressive on the CD side as well. He was able to stop that initial push. Ooh, Sosol going down so quickly. That's not great. That's an AK-47 retrieve. Now they got two AKs. Koi might just try to push onto the bomb site, especially with that kill. That gives him a big opportunity. But again, remember, two rifles are still at play and damage can be inflicted.
Oh, wow. This would be a really rough round to lose if you're Koi. I mean, they do have control of this B-bomb site, but C4 yet to go down. So just making this more and more doable for TNL by the second. Eventually, those digits tapped in, but they're all in position. Can coming up from short. He's got a 5.7 at range, but he's found himself an AK. Now, their equity in this retake shoots right up. They don't have the information. Where are these players hiding? They don't have the util either, so they do just have to wait for this contact. It might be best to back off. They found 3 rifles. They're going to fall away and save them. This is what I said. Got to have your head screwed on, and they do. They realise this is important. They're not going to make any mistakes. It's a nice kill from Stomac as well. Won't be able to get that rifle. He will fall out of it. In fact, I think he's going to have a little... Yeah, look, he's wanting to be right on the edge of it so that he can run back in and try and grab that AK when the bomb explodes. I don't think he'll be there in time. Oh! No, I think it was blown into the corner.
Yeah, as far as an eco round is concerned, that was pretty good. I mean, TNL, they salvage, what, 3 AK-47s? And they have 3 AKs on the CT side. Plenty of utility as well. I mean, surely if you're Yukitoro and Zogan, you buy the fuse kit, but I guess not. I guess that's not necessary. I guess they're confident enough they will just win this round without even having to witness a bomb plant. But we'll see.
Well, it's felt like they've come ridiculously close, even with limited weaponry. So now they've got the rifles out. I think my money's definitely on TNL here to just close it without complication. Normally, these sort of feel-good rounds, when you are down and out of the game and you've already somewhat accepted your fate, do you some favours going into map number 2. You say, okay, well, that was a terrible map, but we managed to get the ball rolling a little bit and have some success there in that second half. But I really don't feel like Koi can come away from this with that. Even these last couple of rounds they've won, they've come really close. They've struggled against these pistols. It's been really the theme of this entire game. And there you go again. Both looking the wrong way. Ken's going to swing, get a double sprayed out. And that's it, surely. 2 of the final 5 nails hammered into this coffin. Oh, Southsole does take one back, though. He's fighting for survival.
Ooh, good timing, though. They're able to catch out Onic. And that suddenly gives Koi a huge lifeline. A chance to get that bomb planted. Not gonna go for the engagement just yet. I can't really blame Mopaz in that position. He knows he's up against a guy like Stomac or someone else on TNL. They've been so good on hitting those headshots. Now they're desperately waiting for Zogan to come in. That's a good frag on one. The double peek doesn't give them that much success. And remember, now they just have to focus on CT spawn. They have no idea what's happening from Palace, and that's a big problem because TNL somehow, I've got no idea, but they win the retake. Plenty of time with the defuse as well. And it's over here for Koi and Mirage. Wow.
Yeah, the idea behind that one was put pressure on from CT and wait for that Palace player to actually, get into position to kind of deal with that. It didn't end up being the case. They just found both frags and they stomp on Mirage. What an unbelievable way to start off our grand finals. The underdogs that I thought maybe on a good day could just about scrape it, actually dominate. And they go into map number 2 with their heads held high, a 13-4 victory behind them. And, their heads set on course to win this thing.
There's the potential for that, but of course, guys, we're going to be going to a very quick commercial break. And once we'll be back, we'll be sure to bring you that second map. Don't go anywhere. Well, I don't know about you, Josh, but I thought the Spaniards were used to the sun, but it looks like they just melted away against the brute heat of TML. And of course, that means we'll have to jump to our second map. Relatively cool, I'd say. Nuke, and I don't know where to go from here on out. I tried. I tried.
You teed it up quite nicely. Yeah, Nuke is a map that definitely favours Koi. There's no doubt about that. But I feel like there was such a huge firepower disparity on that first map that I'm not sure, right? We actually saw TNL play Nuke as well in this very tournament just a couple of days ago. They were able to beat Monty Jen and it went to OT. But again, I think that that's a lot of promise being shown. Koi have looked good here recently. As I said earlier, they've played it a couple of times in this tournament too. Both overtime wins against 9 in Gaming Gladiators. But I think they're going to be feeling a little bit sore about that Mirage result. Not being able to start off on your CT side here could be a bit of a problem. TNL ready to get things rolling. It's the Jawlies from Onyx that struggled last time. Do find a freebie here, but traded 1 for 1. And they're going to shoot right down B. Rotations are quick though. Look at Karen's position.
That's pretty good, but so many bodies to find. That is a bit too much to ask. Stomach goes down as well. Well-litty, Koi might actually pick up their first pistol round victory. And you know what? You said that, I mean, sure, by all metrics, starting things off on the T side sounds like that's detrimental. Like, that is difficult to start things off on the T side of Nuke. But I feel like for Koi, they probably need the T side, right? Because if they really want to show off their prowess as sort of a tactical team, this is where you do it, on the T side. Because on the CD side, we saw that they got their butts whooped. Whereas the T side, if you group up, you find good timings, maybe that's going to be enough for you to just get, I don't know, 5, 6 rounds. And imagine a world in which the second half comes, they win the pistol, gun round. That suddenly becomes a lot more doable. But once again, it's not going to be easy.
Well, better stuff, I guess that is one way of putting it. Bit of damage taken. Zogan's done well on that retake, but... or more on the exits, I guess you call it. But, yeah, still a decent start for Koi. And they're the ones with the firepower advantage here going into round number 2. TNL out with a reasonable force. You know, a couple of SMGs, a Mag 7 on Ken, which on any other map you'd sort of discount. But if he wants to play close to hut, maybe on top of it, then could still be deadly. Scout, a little bit off the mark with the pot shot through the smoke. With the wall of smoke's going up outside. He's been made a little bit redundant here. Ooh, that's a good tag. You won't know he's hit it.
Oh, man. Max 7.
Come on.
And Zogan right behind. Like, this is such a deadly combo. Oh, boy. One guy inflicts damage. The MP9 is there to just mop it up. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if you want to go there if you're Koi. Yeah, you hear the Mike 7 just rattling off a shot. Probably best to back away. And sure, they still have outside presence, and from here on out, I'd still consider A to be an option. And yeah, this is such a nice change of pace as well, because, you know, we saw TNL and TSAT every single round. It felt like it just ends right before the 40-second mark. This time, we can see Koi is being super patient. And then again, this is a good chance for Koi, because if they play slow like this could be a place where TNL starts making mistakes, but not Karn. He gets an amazing shot on 1. And will force some of the players to back away from Secret and maybe commit towards the A side. They still have time to do it.
Get on out of there with the Galil. It's Stomac at range with his 5-7. Somehow still alive and kicking. Rattling off shot. Surely get to rights in a second. The nade's going to completely whiff. Sedona has found one elsewhere. There it is. Mopos with another. That should sort of tie a neat little bow on this round. They were definitely tested, taking a decent chunk of damage throughout that whole ordeal. And a good start, a very good start for Koi. Remember, they should have an easy round going into the next as well. They've got 4 Galils, so no real bonus round in play as per se. Need to be careful though. If they do want to hunt hit, a shot. Yeah, they're not going to press it any further. They'll say, if Yukitoro wants to save a scout, we're fine with that. The likelihood of him going crazy and getting an ace next round with it is pretty slim. So, Yeah, that's fine.
He really wanted to recover that 5-7 of his teammate, but either way, not that big of a deal. But I'm sure what is a big deal, the fact that Koi has already picked up 2 rounds. There's a big chance for them to get third, and like you said, not expecting much out of TNL. Basic eco, some upgraded pistols, and that's about it. And I'm still standing by that point that I feel like Koi has a much better chance here on the T side of Nuke than on the CT side of Mirage, like we saw. But you have a bit of a heavy outside setup coming in from TNL. They can definitely inflict damage in this round. One player almost dropping dead. You can see some of these gunfights are incredibly close. At the end, though, it's just Lonesome Onyx remaining. 1v3 deep in hand. Oh, picks up a nice headshot on Soul, but doesn't expect more than that. But from an eco round, that's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage. Yeah, again, just keeping Koi on their toes and keeping things expensive for them as well, I think is really one of the most important things here. The money has to sort of balance around the books, and find SauSol with nothing left after this one. 3k in the bank for the rest. In fact, Adam S down to $1,000 as well. So if TNL can win this buy round, Koi will have just about enough for an investment following up, and then that'll be it. Bank depleted, and it won't even be a great buy moving forward. Rifles out. Yukitoro with that AWP. Finally, a potential counter for Stadodo. Look at the aggression here, the position of Can. Yuki's fallen. But still, the pressure is on.
And Karn as well, he's practically in a one-and-done spot. In this position, he can get very easily cleared out by someone that's on top of Silo. But so much time has passed, I'm not sure if anyone from Koi will anticipate a player to be here. He's good for the first. Oh, there we go. We got the backup of Stomach. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Not just Lonesome Karn, but backup as well. And suddenly this round has completely changed in favor of TNL, perhaps. Look at this, Stadodo just trying to run away with his life intact, but Maupas will try to get the better of Lonesome Zogan, and this is starting to become a pretty awkward round. I'm not sure if Maupas has the right timing. I don't think he does, which gives a player like Zogan to get in closer, but Stadodo, he's got the angle and he wins the fight. From here on out, if you're Koi, perhaps group up, hit the A bomb site. Onyx, oh, does he? Yep, now he sees the one player. Not a lot of time remaining, but yeah, it makes sense. If you're Stadodo, just book it towards B.
Just about scraping through again. I mean, it's another expensive round, but if they keep winning them, then it doesn't matter. And there's not going to be much to work with for TNL again. They do have that max loss bonus, so there's something there. They can go for somewhat of a half buy into this one. A proper investment would still be able to follow, but attack pause first, because things sort of get very quickly out of hand in MR12. And, you know, 4-0 seems insignificant. It feels like we've only just started on this map, but actually, you know, this is more than likely going to be a 5th from Koi, and that's already a very good half. T-side nuke, 7-5, that's a very good half, and that's the minimum for them. That's assuming that TNL can then sort of bite back 7 on the trot off of the next buy round, which is maybe even then still a little eager. So they've done well to win Mirage. I think they've got a good chance on Anubis, but they've also got a decent shot at Nuke here, and they need to make sure they don't throw it away.
Right now, I mean, I'm just digging this Koi T side. Surely, I think like playing it's just a little bit slower. What you could expect out of a team like TNL is so far a good advice. They're playing it slow and they're just waiting for TNL to make mistakes. So far, that's been working out for them. And as part of the course, TNL is definitely a team that does not slow down as well. They will be more than happy to keep on playing aggressive, look for those engagements. This round, of course, is a little bit different, though Zogan, he's just carrying his way into HUD, keeping a close eye if someone decides to push up. An MP9 in that position can still be a very lethal little gun. So far, it's a pretty slow-paced round coming out from TNL. Nothing too ballsy, just holding on to their positions, got some Deeks, some MP9s, And as far as they're concerned, I wouldn't be surprised if we might start seeing some sort of stack going on to try and maximize their chances. Oh, look at Card. He might just find some really good timing, but Dabe gets the better of him. Whoa, what's this?
Okay, blink and you miss it. We're on the other side of the map, but there's 2 big kills come through. Zogan, unfortunately, can't win that duel. That could have solidified it right there. Without, still under a bit of pressure, Onic down below. But look, all 3 of them here are stacked up and ready for this B execution. And they're in good positions. They just don't quite have the weaponry. Onic does take one with his 5-7. There's another one above him. He wants to try and isolate this AWP. Can't do it. And Stomac will drop as well. Another round with, you know, a multi-kill. It looks pretty good for TNL. But they need to be able to convert rounds. They need to be able to convert these buy rounds when they come. And that's been the real difficulty, I guess, so far.
It really has. I feel like Koi has TNL's number here on T-side. And to be honest, I feel like this slow-paced Counter-Strike on T-side is definitely working out for them. Sure, we have seen some of those engagements early on and outside, which were a little bit back and forth, but now they're radically changing up the pace. They full-on execute on A. Not too shabby. 3v2. Still okay for the T-side, but covering the bomb is their top priority. And it is in a very awkward position. And the CTs, I mean, from here on out, they just don't have to overthink it. Just hold their positions, wait for the Ts to make mistakes. Wonder what Maupas can do in his position. Looks like Onyx seems to be more or less aware someone is at Squeaky, but feel like the Spaniards still have a chance in this round.
Yeah, chance for sure. Oh, missed AWP shot. That was a key opportunity to put that back to evens. Onic down to 1 HP. Nate doesn't quite land where he wants it to. That's okay. Wouldn't have done much onto Sododo regardless. And with an AWP, it's just the wrong tool for the job. He's going to walk out. He's on top of the heart. He doesn't suspect it and shut down as a result. Beautiful 4K from Stomac. He picks up a second AWP momentarily as well. And I did start to question, do they want that second AWP? And then just before that timer expires, he swaps it out for an AK. So, staying composed. I said before, 5 rounds is already very good for Koi. But, of course, after a 5-0 start, they want more. They're going to call a quick tack pause here to work out what went wrong in that last and maybe how to patch it up. Make sure that things are a little bit better moving forward. Yeah, that was a good round, though. That was a very good round from TNL.
It was, but you gotta admit, some of these rounds have been pretty expensive as well. I mean, on the side of Koi, sure, they just managed to win 5 rounds in a row. Perfect stuff. But some of them have been with just 1, maybe 2 players surviving. They have been relatively costly, and you can see, like, they're able to go for a purchase here. But if they fail, that's going to be a chance for TNL to start racking up some of that bank as well. Rounds, preferably. Admittedly, no sniper rifle in this round, which I do feel like that was a nice addition to the T-side weaponry. Maupas again, but it might go for the early play. He breaks the smoke, so the CTs are aware that there's nothing going on just yet, and Adam tries to make the ballsy play. Looks like they want to try and go for this, but so far, nothing's going the way of Koi. So
wow.
Very ballsy play with the MP9, and suddenly, I have a feeling TNL has what it takes to win this round. Sure, Zogan can do it now, but it's already a massive advantage for TNL.
Felt wildly unnecessary there from Zogan to push through the smoke with the MP9. They already had a 2-man advantage, but it works out for him. I'm sure he's fine with the outcome. Southsole outside, trying to wrap here, make this a little bit easier. Alleviate some of the pressure from Stododo. They can't both come in from Hut. All squeaky. They need to have that second prong. Smoked off from both angles. I don't know what they're expecting to get out of this. It's a single flashbang. Bomb. Firmly in enemy hands. And I think now is probably the time to just call this off. Go and save. Hold on to those rifles. It's a shame that Stoud's only got a Galil here as well. Any of those extra rifles just unobtainable. But he keeps his KD. Look at him. He's 9-1.
Hey, not bad. Yeah, he's gonna keep his KD and also at least some extra firepower in the upcoming round. But I will admit, I feel like Koi probably don't want to go for these fast style plays, especially from what we've seen these past couple rounds. TNL, like, they're still so good on the aim, despite the fact that they're deploying loads of utilities, smoke grenades, and whatnot. The fact that there are at least like 2 or 3 players from TNL holding on to the A bomb site, I feel like that is basically an impenetrable fortress right now. And if anything, I think Koi should return back to their roots. And their roots were basically playing it slow, taking outside control, chucking in the smoke grenades as well. Sadly, that's not going to be possible, I feel like, for the next 2 rounds, because here as well, it is going to be basically an eco, except for the 2 rifles. In the next round, maybe they'll have just enough money to get the purchase going, but I don't think we're going to see enough money to see a big green out. And that is definitely part of Koi's success when it comes to taking outside control.
Stomac, ready for some pistols to come his way. I'm sure he'll be happy with some freebies. Looks like they're going outside instead. It's an interesting approach to this round, right? It was definitely the right call for Koi to save in that last, but saving 2 rifles when you're not going to force around it often doesn't yield any fruits. And there you go, Stadola instantly taken care of, and his 2 teammates there on red with him have only got Glocks, so there's no real prospect of a trade either. Second rifle, contact taken. Alright, better stuff from Southsop. 1 for 1, happy to sacrifice a pistol fire. That's sort of how they're trying to tee them up here. It's send Davik around the corner, get Stomac's crosshair off tilter, and then the rifle can swing and try and trade it. But actually it all falls apart, and TNL take themselves a 3rd. So slowly but surely clawing this back. Looking pretty good in the process.
Yeah, this is actually one thing I really like about the current meta we have at CS2 is that when you have 2 players saving up their rifles, let's say in this case we saw like a Galil, an AK perhaps, and you still have players on eco, that doesn't mean you're out of the round just outright. You can definitely use those players to your advantage. Yeah, like we saw right there, they can work as kind of like human decoys. Just run in first, give intel of where the players are playing at, and then you have players with the AK-47s swinging out wide at the exact position they know their opponents are at. Of course, this comes down to some really good communication, which is something you don't always see in this level of Counter-Strike, but from a team like Koi, you can definitely expect that. Not that, though. That is a terrible start for Koi, but, oh, hold on just a sec. Yeah, this round is... Ouch! Okay, that's a big one for Stomac.
Yeah, that's another huge round. And he's kicking it up here, isn't he? Like, you know, I said, it wasn't like he had a bad start at Mirage. I don't think it's possible to have a bad start when you go 10-0 up, right? It's just sort of your teammates finding the kills instead of you. But in those closing rounds, especially on that T side, he had multiple rounds where he was finding those entries and looking really good. It felt like he started to warm up and heat up a little bit on that first map towards the end. And that seems to have carried across here into map 2 as well. Absolutely on fire here at the start of Nuke. He's looking to continue that, playing this regimented position sort of between main and Squeaky. On it. Anti-flash off the contact. Easy kill. Can't make it a second, but a lot of damage dealt. A good info gained as well.
They have a pretty good gist of what's happening in this round. Stomac in the outside position, and Zogan, look at this. Aggressive shenanigans from TNL. This is what we have come to expect them on the T side, but they're more than happy to take these risks on the CT side as well. Media information is key. They have loads of it. The only question is, if they want to make the first move, or will they be more than just happy to just play it safe and let the T's make a mistake?
Surely got to be tied up at 5 apiece here. I just don't see a world they clear Stomac. And okay, actually going to back it over towards this B site. Yukitoro has a bit of a 50-50 to take here. So far, guessing correctly. Oh no. He's just teasing us. It's painful to watch. There you go. Back on the left-hand side. The timing's brilliant. Davik, last man standing, does manage to trade it back despite being on 10 HP. Orpa perhaps didn't have the info, would have switched to the pistol. Bomb tap, forces out a second, and he has a pretty good go at that 1v3, all things considered, but it's not going to be around going his way. TNL will tie things up at 5 apiece, and as I said before, yeah, that turning point, round number 6. They're able to claw it back. They're able to make this a pretty good CT side, but it just felt like they gave up a little too many in the early stages.
And I've also started to fear for Koi because these past couple rounds they've been reinvesting with some pretty lackluster buys. Sure, they haven't had any success in ramp for a while, but outside I feel like place to go, but again, no sniper rifle. But look what's happening on the A bomb side. You got Malphos and Davik picking up big frags on A. That opens up the bomb side, gives them a chance to get that bomb planted. And I feel like TNL, even though they still have the option to have some Yukitoro, want to try and go for this. Retake is on 2v2. Stomach going for more, and Stadodo getting up close with the Tech 9. He's gonna try to hold on to his position for as long as possible. This backup, it's arriving in the form of Malphos, and they will have no idea where Malphos is stationed at. Easy kills for him, and a great round to pick up for Koi.
Really well played. When he came in on that flank, I was worried that he wouldn't go for that trigger discipline, or even if he did, right, the positioning wouldn't quite accommodate it. Maybe there's one in the smoke, maybe there's one just in an awkward position around that silo. You wouldn't be able to sniff him out, but yeah, it's the insurance policy in that round, and he plays that role perfectly. In all the chaos, TNL don't take a step back to look at the bigger picture and say, hang on a minute. If he was in main, he'd be there by now. He would have peeked out for that trade. If he was in lobby, surely we would have heard something, some kind of info. The long wrap. Absolutely perfect. Zogan up close. HE blows the smoke open for a second, so he did have a bit of a sight line, but chooses not to take the deep stance. Stadodo again wins the Battle of the Titans with these AWPs outside. Yukitoro having a bit of a hard time with this outside control.
It's no wonder as well that despite pressure being applied at the A bomb site, Logan is having second doubts as well. Maybe this is part of a larger plan to take outside control, and we can see once again Stadodo. So much success with the sniper rifle outside. Now we'll see some players trying to take advantages. Here, Stomek, that's a great pickup for him. But Sogan is out as well. He's looking for opportunities. So many angles to watch. And he might just walk into a... Oh, Stadodo angle. He doesn't see the player just yet. Oh, man, this is awkward. Oh, sees the player right now. So many angles to check. And it is just Onyx. With his position being revealed, yeah, if you're Koi, you're just going to group up, hit the A-bomb site, and just expect Onyx from heaven.
Ooh, lovely step from Mopos. You could actually see there as well, it's kind of brutal on Zogan's camera. Him just looking left and right, looking a little bit hard done by. I don't blame him. It's a good half. It's a very good half from Koi. And puts him in a great position going into this second side. TNL have done very well to claw it back, to put it in a recoverable position. I think a lot of that weight is on the shoulders of Stomak. They need to get off to a flying start here on this T side. If they can win this pistol, they can tie up this scoreline, keep things competitive. If they can't, then they could just sink here on Nuke, and we'd have to look for that third and final. To be honest, I don't think anything else does the grand final justice. You've got to have a 3-map brawl.
Yeah, that's exactly what you expect. And admittedly, it's great to see Koi getting back into the second map. I definitely had high hopes for them on Nuke, and I'm glad to see they're delivering. Oh, Stomek, that's a little bit awkward. At least he knows the positioning of the player. He's got his back turned. An easy target for Davik. Adam, okay, damage inflicted. Oh man, is this round falling apart? Got Lonesome Card and Yukitoro remaining, Social in the back lines, and this is turning out to be a very solid pistol round victory for Koi.
Oh, can't. Yeah, just in a bit of trouble there. Not a lot he can do to fight his way out of that one. So, Koi will make it 8. A quick tech pause before we go any further into this. But, yeah, you said there's a fair bit of stress, a fair bit of pressure there on TNL to take that pistol, to start something. It just doesn't come through for them.
No, it doesn't. But if you guys would have come through for us here at Galaxy Battle, we wouldn't mind if you would declare there down below the stream. You could see our Twitter profile. Give us a follow as well. Give a follow on the Twitch channel. And why not follow me, Sir Danny, as well as MNJ, because we've been putting up some good work. We're bringing you some exciting Counter-Strike. And oh boy, is it an exciting game. 8-5, and I don't know, man. That 3-mapper is starting to look a lot more likely because Koi, they win the pistol. They have a really good chance at winning the 9th round. But I will say this, one of the things that has been so dissatisfying to watch is, well, I have seen those Koi games on Nuke, and it felt like every single time they had a big advantage coming into the second half. They even won the 2nd round pistol. But I don't know what would happen to this team, but their CT sides would just crumble. It felt like every single time they'd lose like 5 or 6 rounds in a row, and then the last few rounds they finally pick up some big wins. Well, we'll have to wait and see if that will be the same against this team, but admittedly, as an eco, like, look at this. 2 big frags, bomb plant as well. Like, this is some solid stuff for TNL.
Yeah, I mean, again, it feels like they're always getting these little silver linings in rounds like this, where you say, okay, well, they're on a full eco. The fact they found a couple of kills on a bomb plant's great, and you can't take that away from them. But in the buy rounds, they're not sort of having that same success. And Koi, now 9-5 up. This is a must-win for TNL. They lose this next round, and this map is pretty much as good as gone. Number 15, that comes with almost all the bells and whistles. AK's out. A lot of util to work with. They haven't got that AWP, but... Ooh, okay. This is bold from Koi. I like this a lot, actually. They've got rid of the SMGs, and they're not playing a bonus round here.
Fair enough. That does make a lot of sense, especially when you have a player like Stododo who's on point. He's been hitting every single shot at the T set, and I would expect a similar level of success on the CT side as well, but we're up against TNL. Those players can also hit some deadly shots, including that one, Stododo. Big green, out of the round already.
Good trade back from Davig. He actually makes it 2. And just like that, he shuts this down. He won't be the man to find the 4th, but he's taken 3. He's done his job. He's done it beautifully. Anonic trying to, yeah, make something out of this. I don't see it happening. There you go. Shot in the back of the head. Adam again. This is exactly what I was saying before. It's, you know, moments of success when it's just these pistols. You know, it doesn't equate to a round win, but you say, all right, yeah, they're doing a bit of damage and whatnot. The second they get those rifles out, they're looking a little bit lost here, to be honest, on Nuke. Certainly struggling.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. I definitely would like to see or rewatch the previous round because they get the initial frag, 4v5. That's already great for the T side, and yet I'm not sure how they fumble against Davig. Fair enough to Davig. He's been putting up some good numbers here on Nuke, but I was surprised to see this round. I mean, no surprises, right? They just run into the A bomb site, check out a few bits and pieces of utility. And all in all, I mean, 11-5. This is a great scoreline for Koi, but again, I have PTSD from watching them play against other squads in Nuke, and they had these advantages before. and they just didn't have what it takes to close it out. And TNL, as long as they have economy, as long as they have money to work with, I'd be scared if I'm Koi.
I guess so. I guess so. I mean, they've got a nice little margin for error here. They've looked much better this map. Just look more comfortable here on Nuke. More confident. And as a result, happier to go for some of these aggressive plays, but sometimes it's not the right move. Southside proves it right there. Cans cross red. He starts to suspect that maybe someone is down in trash. And yeah, as this smoke starts to fade, he is ready to take the duel. That is so smart. Knows that consistently they've been trying to get aggressive outside. And says, well, I've got all the way up to red and I haven't seen or heard anybody. Mopos goes for the re-aggression, hoping to trade out and avenge Southsol from earlier in the round. He has the same lack of success. And that's that. That's got to be round number 17 going the way of TNL. And it seems like just sort of tapping the brakes a little bit and letting Koi play into you and over-aggress, make those mistakes, was the magic recipe for them here.
Yeah, but I also definitely understand why they would have gone for that aggression, because if you look at how Koi's been playing their CT Science, even on a map like Mirage, like, it was pretty safe, you know, standard stuff. But they only started winning rounds, or at least that one round, is when they started playing more aggressive, going for the duels. So I get the picture, what they were trying to do, but at the same time, yeah, TNL managed to capitalize on said mistakes, and, well, it's going to be at least one here for TNL. I wouldn't be too surprised if these four players just want to try to make sure Koi doesn't save any weapons moving forward, because for TNL, economy is not that big of a deal. They basically have their backs against the wall. I'm sure they'd want to make sure the Dodo doesn't keep that sniper rifle for the next one. But then again, if TNL do save all four rifles, they at least have some sort of piggyback moving forward. And sure, they might still lose a round. Their economy might be completely screwed. So it does make sense to at least have some of that extra cash in their bank accounts.
This seems like a monumental task, but when you break it down, it's actually not impossible. Only 5 rounds separate these two sides, and whilst money's still looking good for Koi, they probably only got one more buy round in the tank after this, and then they'll be broke. The loss bonus at that point will have built up quite nicely, but it would leave the door wide open for a TNL comeback. Mopos jumping on top of Tetris. There's fire at his feet, but it's not burning him. Stododo and Davik, the kills elsewhere. And it actually makes Mopos turn his head. He's punished. Onyx with another. But this needs to be traded. Davik's been given a little bit too much here, and it's a huge whiff from Yukitoro. That was their one chance back in. They fail it. And now Koi are on to 12 on that point.
Oh, wow, Koi. They might just be able to do it. 12-6. TNL, of course, they will just go for the reinvestment, but admittedly, Koi's on point. Like, their players are hitting their shots. IGL Davik putting up some pretty big numbers. 21 for him. Stododo and Diop, Mopos as well. Sure. I'm surprised to know that some players like Adam have been pretty quiet, but surely when it matters most, he's able to pull the trigger. Yeah, TNL, I feel like they're starting to run low on ideas as well. Counting on their individual players to find some of those openers, but it's so difficult in Nuke to do it by your lonesome. You need to have some sort of backup, and once again, it's not a good start. It's the Dodo picking up the first.
Onyx found one back, so a 4v4, but maybe not as cut and dry as that. The help is awkward. Stomac does actually peek, look in the right way, but just sort of soft checks it. Doesn't clear that corner deep enough. Davik's on top of the height. He's been consistently here, so they shouldn't be surprised to see it. An important kill from Onyx. Tagged down to 9 HP, but still alive and kicking. As the digits tapped in. It's a shame that Stododo's got this AWP. If a second rifle was in play and maybe a bit of offensive util, I think they'd have a very good chance at this retake given how low everyone on TNL are, but they don't necessarily have that information. And they are very aware that Davik's on $350 and falling away, saving this round. Being able to drop him a rifle is maybe a little more important. They've got plenty of chances to finish this off. They don't have to force it here.
Oh no, they definitely don't have to. They can absolutely, you know, work around even if some mistakes are made. Especially in the previous round. I mean, it wasn't a bad round coming out from Koi. Some players were just in some solid positions, dishing out the damage. It's so difficult as well for players of like TNL's caliber to make your way out of HUD. And you have to face a player in Rafters. That is such a difficult position to go up against. And yet, they make it work. They secured the bomb site. But also, like you said, really on the back of it, two players just decide to save their guns. And if they were to have different weaponry, perhaps we see a retake, even a victory for Koi. But now it is 12-7. TNL, of course, gonna have to worry about money. Not that big of an issue, but is this a fast round? Looks like it is on the A bomb site. They're gonna move in fast, but not fast enough. And you can see, wow, that is gonna be a victory for Koi. They absolutely destroy TNL's advancement on the upper bomb site. And well, that's gonna be the end here for Nuke.
Yes, yeah, a bit of light at the end of the tunnel there for Koi after a brutal first map on Mirage. And things are lighting up here as well. I don't know if you noticed, it was really dark before, but the sun's come out. It's chucking it down with rain, but it's a little bit brighter. And that's how things look for Koi, that's for sure. Third and final map, though, for our grand finals to determine our winner. And yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting one, especially considering we'll have a knife round to determine sides. So yeah, obviously both teams will be pushing for that favoured T start.
Absolutely. So guys, looks like we're going to be going once again to a very quick break. And once we'll be back, we'll be sure to bring you that second map. Pardon me, third map. What's up there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our best of three. And let's be real, it's been a banger. We saw TNL absolutely destroying Koi, but Koi, they remained calm and they managed to bounce back on the second map. And of course, now we're going to have our third and final map in the form of Anubis to see who's going to come out on top. My name's Sir Danny. I'm joined here by Josh. And well, fact is, Josh, that coming into this third and final map, I feel like it's so hard to predict who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you here. You know, we've had two pretty one-sided maps to kick things off. TNL dominating their pick of Mirage, Koi really dominating their pick of Nuke. Things have been very consistent across the scoreboard and whatnot as well. Salsol's had a bit of a stinker. He's actually struggled throughout this series. He's going 16 and 31 as a whole. But everybody else, especially on the TNL camp, right, they're within a few frags of each other. Ken's up at the top. He's 29 and 24. But even the bottom of the scoreboard for this series is Yukitoro, who's 21 and 21. He's going even, and everybody's looking pretty good here. So I think, you know, there's no slackers. Everybody's fired up going into this third and final map. There's a fair bit on the line. I think more so. I was about to say more so for TNL, but maybe even not, right? For these guys, this would be a huge win. This would be one of their biggest wins ever as a roster. In fact, maybe even the biggest win for them as a roster. But for Koi, I feel like there's a lot of dignity to defend here. They're by far and away the favourites. And to lose this would be disappointing, I think, for themselves and for their fans. And I feel like they've got a lot to prove here.
Yeah, I mean, for context, ESL Challenger League Season 47, that was in June, and that was basically the last time we actually saw Koi in like a proper, noticeable grand final appearance. And since then, hasn't been much, but it's a good start here for TNL. We got Stomac with the first frag. Nice to see as well that usually you get to see those early aggressive plays by a couple players outside B, but they changed it up, have 2 on A, and now, look at this, Lonesome Onic on the bomb site. Like, he's the only line of defense. He drops dead. And it's good to see that Karn is relatively close by, but Koi, he absolutely knows. They got to smoke off this position, and then they can make the cross.
Oh, Stomac has let him slip the net. He's found his way through. With the bomb beeping away and a 3v3, all of them coming in from the CT spawn. Zogan's got himself a smoke and a kit, so a slightly longer fuse on this round. More time to make something work. Contact made with the main player. The Glock's up close. Should pack a nastier punch. They should be that little bit deadlier. Slash it away with a knife. He can't find it. Instead, it's Kern to take it his way. He'll get the cash influx. They'll get the defuse. And he's found himself a 4K to kick things off as well. To just propel himself that little bit further as the top player here on this server. And TNL, what a start.
An incredible start as well. I mean, usually that's the sort of thing you say about Anubis, that this is a map where you expect the CTs to play aggressive, but interestingly enough, we saw aggression on, it felt like every single part of the map. We saw players from TNL going outside A, we saw players going outside B, or shall I say player singular, which was part of the big problem for TNL, because that one player goes out by his lonesome, he dies, and the B bomb site suddenly becomes a lot more vulnerable. But it was good to see that guys like Karn coming in with the rotate, able to bounce back a difficult 3v3 post plant. And now we get to see some early action at the B side as well. This time though, they're keeping the opponents at hand's length, and it's looking pretty good, but still, big trades come through. It is just Lonesome Stododo remaining the 1v2. Oh, that range, impossible to go up against, but hey, all in all, not a bad round for Koi, but admittedly, that was a purchase, right? And if you go for a purchase, you kind of expect the team to win the round, right?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you do. Well, that's the goal, at least. And you know, Koi falls short of that. It's a bad way to start off your T side here. It really is a bad way to start off your T side on Anubis. This is where you're supposed to be sort of pulling away, getting those early rounds on the board. Instead, it looks like it's going to be a 3-0 for TNL. Koi, any damage is good damage in a round like this. Yukitoro's got an AWP out early. They're not really taking any major chances. They've still got a couple of MP9s in play. They're happy to somewhat play the bonus here. $600 a piece for the kills with those little pocket SMGs. Shot from the AWP. Bold to be continuing to peek into these Deagles with low health, and that is exactly why. But obviously he's not in too deep. That AWP is still very recoverable.
No, I'm sure the CTs have no problems recovering the sniper. And again, yeah, you're absolutely right about it. In fact is, we saw those constant repeaks, and if the Deagles just hit at least one shot, that already just slows down your movement to a crawl. You become a much easier target to digest. And in this round, well, I feel like TNL has already, gone for some aggressive plays. They just play safe at this point. I mean, they are up against pistols. Probably they want to make sure the op doesn't fall into the wrong hands, but apart from that, this should be just a TNL victory from here on out. Up now. Hands of the Zogan. Stomac goes in for more. That should be... Ooh, that should have been his, but it's good to see that Onyx is there to back him up. So, a bit of a costly round, but at least they keep, 3 players. That's like the minimum threshold.
Yeah, not bad. And, more importantly, that AWP carried through and one of those rifles as well. It's unfortunate that they can't retrieve that second, but that's okay. Here comes the proper buy for Koi. They're going to take a quick tap pause before moving into it as well. Just talk things over. Try and cook up a winning strategy. Ken is going to play this bonus. He's going to hold on to this MP9.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. I mean, I'm a big fan of the MP9, right? I feel like it's still a doable weapon to have. Especially a map like Anubis, it's definitely a good little gun to use on the A-side defense. As we'll see, Koi has already deployed a fair amount of utility in the early round, and TNL not slowing down. Going for the aggressive play, but Mappa's able to catch one. We saw a second player in the form of Stomac wanted to join the fight, but once his buddy goes down, he considers that, alright, maybe it is better to just play it safe and back away. But yeah, Koi with the early advantage. From here on out, it becomes a lot more doable to convert the round their way. But as you can see, Koi, they've been so good at these rounds. They're more than happy to just play slow and wait for TNL to make a mistake. And I wouldn't be too surprised if someone like Karn might try to go for something more aggressive, especially with this lack of intel they have. Or maybe they're just going to play it safe, maybe regroup for a potential clear of middle, and then maybe return back to their positions. But the problem is, that leaves something like the B-bomb side incredibly vulnerable.
The man, disadvantage, 40 seconds on this clock. Smoke comes into Temple, and Onyx has a decision to make. Does he want to try and burst through this and be the hero? Or take a step back, wait for his teammates to get into position, play for a retake? Of course it's going to be the latter, the smarter option. It really limits their chances here, and losing another man, that's Stomac gone. They might just have to call it and play away for the save here. Cam's not got a lot to lose. He's got that MP9, so he can try and catch an exit, get a rifle out of this. But yeah, for that AWP and M4, only a single flashbang between them to work with. It's got to be the save call. That'll allow Koi their first round on the board. Maybe the start of more to come.
Ooh, wonder if Karn can even find a player. That would be pretty nice. Oh, the headshot is not enough for Onyx. Karn, ooh, might just... Oh, damn, I thought he might be able to recover the AWP, but yeah. We still have those players close by. He shoots away the gun. Luckily for Karn, he's got loads of money. But TNL is kind of struggling in terms of cash, and I think they realized that, okay, maybe we gotta start showing some of that respect for Koi. Because I feel like Koi, after the success we saw in the second map, like, these guys are rejuvenated. They're back at the game.
Well, a battle of tactical pauses. I mean, look at this. We're only going into round number 5. TNL have already used 2. Koi have had one as well. Really proceeding with caution in these rounds. And I guess that's just a result of being in the third and final map of a grand finals hit. Feels like you don't have that margin for error. It feels like you don't have that opportunity to sort of learn as you go. Now Salt, aggressive. Ooh, okay, re-aggressing. A huge mistake. I don't know what Stomac's doing there. Yukitoro's done well to trade it back. He's done very well to trade it back. It feels incredibly over-aggressive out of TNL.
Yeah, I always feel like if, let's say the CT side is going for some aggression from B connector in water, they have a very, like, small time frame where that aggression can really work. But if they overstay their welcome, they become such an easy target for the T side. This was definitely one of those rounds where, yeah, you kind of just stuck in no man's land. Sure, you would try to back away, but at the same time, you could get just shot right behind your back. At the same time, you have a player like Karn is going for the aggressive plays. Right about now, TNL has a very good grasp of the situation. They realize that this will be a commitment on the A-bomb side. Oh, so good. Is he going to expect someone like Adam to be up close? That's a good position, and whoever wins this fight might just seal the round. A great pickup for Adam, and you can see the players already backing away, scratching their heads, wondering what happened. And I'll tell you this, that aggression in B connector did not go their way at all. No, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it felt really messy, right? Felt like they were literally tripping over each other. Went for the aggression, then got smoked off, and still decided to press for it. It was really bizarre. I mean, like, they threw the nade to blow it open, but Stomac actually played through it before that nade blew up. Ended up getting lost in the smoke, running into the wall. Exposed enough that Southsol had a free kill onto him. And as I say, Norpa did a fantastic job to trade it back. Yukitoro will survive and carry that AWP through. But you can see by just the look on Kayan's face, and a third tactical pause used in the first 5 rounds of this game, that TNL are looking a little bit worried.
Oh, I'd bet. Especially because this is, once again, T-side, and they're going up against a tactical team in the form of Koi, and if we saw how well they played their T-side, sure, in those later stages, they started struggling a bit more. I felt like they wanted to play in a similar style from what we've seen, like the likes of TNL, you know, fast and loose, executes on the bomb site, but that just did not work out for them, and they started to run low on money. Their investments weren't the best, and surely we saw a pretty good scoreline there at the very end from Koi and a decent one from TNL. But again, those T sides, I really think Koi is a solid team on the T side. They seem to have a pretty good depth. Coming into a round like this, it should be pretty easy for them, though. Onyx covers the AK, has the backup of Yukitoro with the sniper, but he knows that in a round like this, he's a very important piece of the puzzle. So he doesn't want to go out first. He wants to allow his teammates like Karn and Onyx to push out first with the USBs, gather intel, perhaps even catch some of those T players re-aggressing. But in this round, once again, I feel like it's just going to go the way of Koi, especially here if they make the right choice. Right now, they're really lacking in terms of intel. Ooh, and they should realize that's Yukitoro on the other end. Probably don't want to go up against him. So if you're Koi, you better rush towards the A-bomb site and get that bomb planted ASAP.
Again, it's such a difficult position. Oh, no, Zogan. Could have been a free kill if he wasn't caught mid-reload. That would have put him in a brilliant spot. 2v2, Yukitoro was sort of already there. Instead, it's a definite save call. There's nothing more that they can bring to the picture here. It'll be tied up at 3 apiece, and Koi nicely finding momentum, right? 3-3 scoreline's nothing to brag about, T-side of Anubis, but yeah, they're doing really, really well here in these gun rounds, and I think they've sort of cracked the recipe here, which is the TNL CT half. What kind of scares me is when we saw that TNL T side on Mirage, it was so dominant. It was so commanding. Every single round, they were flying out, they were winning these duels, and always taking the initiative and taking that space. And I feel like Anubis is actually a map that has like a fairly similar blueprint to Mirage. In fact, it favours the T's even further if you do want to take those sort of high initiative, aggressive plays. And it could be what we see. But they need to make sure they have a serviceable half here. They need to get 5 or 6 on the board before they can really think too much about that.
I don't know, that's fair. I feel like comparing something like Mirage does make a lot of sense. It's also a good map that allows the CTs to play aggressive, and that's exactly what we saw from Stomac. Oh, Onyx, that was such a powerful position to be at, and look at this, unorthodox from Yukitoro. He whiffs the shot. That gives at least some breathing room for Koi. Oh, but this is starting to get a little bit scary. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the mid hold. Meanwhile, they might just be able to sneak past through defense over at A. But timing is everything, because we do have Solo here in middle. Oh, he catches one, goes in for seconds. The A side crumbles. It is just Lonesome Karn. Sure is able to get one, but a good double peek, and he's demolished.
Oh, how does it crumble so badly? I mean, the thing is, right, is if Yukitoro just hits that AWP shot, it's routine. It should just be one that connects for him all day long. See ya. Then South Seoul doesn't have that space, and he doesn't have the opportunity to push up and get 3. They had the man advantage, it was traded back, but they had an easy opportunity to pull it back in their favour, and instead they fumble it. Mid control's lost, and everyone just whiffs their jewels. That was such a huge play from South Seoul. Sort of criticised him a little bit at the start of this map. He's been the weakest link in this series, but it doesn't really matter if you step up in a big way and get it over the line. You can run a marathon at the back of the pack if you sprint for the last mile, overtake everybody. Still counts. It's even more impressive.
It surely does. Yeah, it surely does. And around like this, you can see that the boys of TNL right now going for a bit of a gamble stack. I do respect it, but I probably would also like to see Yukitoro be just a bit more proactive at a round like this. You know, go out there, look for an engagement, because hey, if he ends up dying, that sniper rifle can still be recovered. It can still be used. It could come into some big hands. But it's a good start for Koi. They are able to dispatch some Lonesome Onyx. And right now, we haven't seen a lot of B-side hits, and we could actually see a potential commitment there onto the B bomb site, because they can have a lot of free reign in Temple, whereas Lonesome Soul, I mean, all he's got to do right now is just wait. Play the waiting game. Maybe someone's going to go for some ballsy push, but I feel like if you're Koi, at this point, you just want to turtle up, group up, and just hit one of the sites.
Yeah, you need to not overcomplicate things here. The last thing you want to do on a round like this is run that timer down too low. You leave yourself really susceptible to a pistol just sort of flying out of a corner that you haven't cleared and denying the plant, but it won't happen here. They'll just hold on to this Kevlar, hold on to these upgraded pistols, hold on to that AWP. It is a valuable weapon for them to carry across into the next, and oh, if they can take an AK or two as well, then I'm sure they'll be more than happy.
Yeah, recover some of those rugged AK-47s. I feel like Soul has just been sitting at this position this entire round, to be honest. He hasn't moved an inch. He's just still waiting that perhaps someone will appear in my crosshairs, but he doesn't want to overstep his welcome as well. I'll say this, though, about Soul from looking at some of the statistical data. Like, to me, this guy seems like he can really raise the floor of Koi, because I feel like for them, they could use a fundamentally sound player. I wouldn't say that Soul is fantastic, but he seems to be kind of a jack of all trades in that sense, because he seems to be one of those players that can, you know, open up space for his teammates in that sense that he can entry, but he can also be the one to, you know, set up his teammates with utility. He can also, like, you know, entry if needed, and because he's in usually the middle of the pack, he can also clutch. So all in all, it feels like a good addition to the team. Not necessarily, you know, raising the floor that much that they might be a contender for top 20, top 30, like we saw 5 or 6 months ago. But I feel like this player, this addition, could be a nice guy to have to build around a team. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. Thought we'd see a little bit of aggression there. Felt like he was dead set on peeking into B main. Then backs it up. Spams through the smoke. AK, lots of damage dealt. In fact, he's actually managed to land a stray headshot. It's a bad start for TNL, and it's such a shame. It doesn't feel like Onyx done anything wrong there.
Very slow round coming out from Koi, but to be honest, this is something we have come to expect. They're more than happy to just, pick up the early frag and just wait. Again, this is a perfect example of that. They're just waiting for some mistakes to come out from the CT side. Mappas, though, gets caught out a little bit. Doesn't have the backup just yet. It does arrive in the form of Davik, but it's been too late. His teammate is already dead. This gives a chance for Koi to maybe regress towards the A-bombs. And remember, they still have Adam S in middle. He can very easily catch Yukitoro, but now he's quick. Way quicker than Adam. And there we go. Good frags for Koi, but not sure if it's enough to save the round.
Slip through this smoke. Tap the bomb. That's going to bait out a spam. This is very winnable for the CTs. This smoke adds complications, and Davik, with a stray shot, manages to connect. The AWP's not going to peek and deny that plant. He'll actually let it tap it down. There you go. Love that patience. If he peeks out, he knows he's dead to rights to Stododo. Waits it out. Beautiful stuff. That's actually incredibly well played from Yukitoro. And he'll get 3 kills out of the whole ordeal. Easy pickings. 5-4, and TNL sort of building towards that scoreline that they need.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about it. I mean, if TNL could somehow just salvage a few more rounds, I mean, fair enough. That'll become an okay CT side of Anubis, and from this team, I also expect to do a lot more damage once we move on over towards that T side, because I feel like that's one of those signs of the map where they could really start building up that confidence. Right now, we're just not seeing the same level of individual play like we saw in Mirage. Fair enough, but they can still bounce back, I feel like. Right now, Toro here on B. Ooh, he's looking for those early engagements, and it's always dangerous to be right behind that smoke. It can be blown open any second. And all in all, you could say this is a fairly safe round from TNL. Basically just playing on their defaults, and there we go. We have Davik moving in first drive, picks up the one. There's a great response from Sosol, and suddenly this plan of TNL to play it safe, it crumbles.
Yukitoro. Oh, I thought he'd maybe spot the elbow there. No, again! It's like Draken's 15-degree window. Or is it 30? I always forget the number. Is it 15? Is it 30? I never remember his little window. But again, crosshairs bang on him. And he's overcompensated for the peak, and he's flicked off of him. We've seen that in 2 rounds now. And right there, I mean, that one might not have made a huge difference in the outcome of the round. The one prior definitely did.
Oh boy. Koi now 6 comfortable rounds on T side Anubis. And I understand as well that TNL are in a bit of a pickle. They could potentially go for an eco round, but at that point we're talking 7 rounds for Koi. And look at this, Onyx. Sure, he's at the bottom of the scoreboard, but we know what this guy is capable of. He likes to go for these early engagements, and he might just be able to find something, though. Yukitoro has already dropped dead. Onyx has retrieved a sniper rifle. But at the same time, I'm not really sure what happened there in middle. I was so sure that Onyx is just going to keep on playing aggressive, and yet it's Yukitoro to drop dead. Onyx barely alive. Oh, but look at this as well, Josh. Stomach and Karn. They're done playing games. Seems more than expected. Ooh. Oh, he sure does.
Guns in the corner. I don't think this goes cleared, really. It should be good for 1. Now, Mopos is kind of entertaining it. He hasn't picked out wide enough because he is wary. And there you go. All right, he does hard clear the corner. Karn very smart to have moved. Puts it back to a slightly more reasonable position. Onyx has picked up that AWP as well, low on health, so feels like it's the better weapon, but Zogan needed to win that fight without it. He leaves man with a sniper that's not the ordinary AWPer. Stuck on an island on the site and not a lot to do. So bomb's going to go down. It's going to be 7 here for Koi. And TNL, after going 3-0 up, have really, really struggled on this CT side.
I like as well that Koi has given some opportunities for their individual players to just play off their instincts, I feel like, because some of these rounds as well, it feels like it's not some sort of set play that they have, but someone like Davik feels confident, and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to peek out dry on A side. Boom. Gets a frag. Teammate there to back him up. Another frag. And I feel like Koi is just able to constantly change up the pace, which is something you don't really get to see that much from TNL. They seem to be pretty one-dimensional in the sense that they either play aggressive or they play safe. There's really no middle ground for this team. And here, you could say, sure, it's CT side, which I do understand. But once we move on over to the T side, I mean, that's exactly what we're going to see again. Like, they'll have some sort of set little play. Let's say they want to commit towards the B bomb side. Early on, they'll go there, they'll push, and maybe get that bomb planted. Like, Mirage was basically played in this very same blueprint. They had an early idea they wanted to accomplish. They went there, they got the frags, and boom, round's over. The problem is, though, if you're not capable of getting frags, this sort of set play you might have early on could really be detrimental, right? If you're not able to hit your shots, then you start wondering, maybe we should play default, maybe we should slow things down, and you're not going to have the same level of cohesion. And I do feel like, yeah, TNL, I mean, this first half, they're struggling, and sure, second half, if they win the pistol, the gun run, all that jazz, I could see a world in which they can bounce back. But the one thing that still scares me is that they're still a pretty one-dimensional team.
Yeah, it's felt that way. And you can see, even just on the cams, right? And I hate to sort of overread into things and make it seem sort of more doom and gloom than it is, but they're not looking happy with this. You can see every single time we look at the cameras, every single time you look at Khan's camera, he's looking a little bit defeated here. They were fired up on map 1. The contrast is really vast. On map 1,
oh, yeah,
they were looking really confident, really happy round after round. I think it's difficult to sort of get your head in the game at a time like this. They have to, though.
Yeah, because, sure, the first map, they demonstrated a fast blitzkrieg, but now we're in for the long war, and this is where you can see the experience of Koi, you know, a team that had a chance to play at the major, a team that has experienced individuals on their side, despite the fact that they ended up, you know, having some really close games, some really close maps against teams which it's fair to say that are lesser than them. It is in these situations, in these high-pressure situations, where confidence and experience and the fact that you've been putting in hours, not just in deathmatch, but as a team on strategies and mid-round calls and whatnot, this is where it all comes into fruition. And right now, if you're a team like TNL, sure, you could really hope that if your players are able to hit their shots, we might just be able to see still a good game out of them. Right now, this CT side, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, and it's not looking up to par to TNL standards.
MP9. The other side of this smoke, spams coming through. This, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a must-win round for TNL, but they could really do with it. And again, it's the smoke spams. The first time Onyx got caught out from that, I sort of brushed it off and said, you know, it's not his fault, that's just unlucky. If consistently there's a mid-smoke up and you're leaving yourself vulnerable and you're getting spammed through the smoke, it's foolish. It's foolish, you're doing something wrong, right? It's not the first time we've seen it. It will, fortunately for him, be the last time we see it hit, because this is the final round of the half. And he's going back and forth. Pressure here applied onto the B site, and a crunch from Connector. It is smoked for now, but Sturmak knows that in the next few seconds that smoke will start to fade and he'll be under fire. Yorp did spot one, wasn't ready to take the fight though, but his teammate elsewhere was, so a 5v3. wow.
That almost became like a very awkward round because we saw the player from Dark jiggle peeking, and the player behind the column could have been an easy target for Koi's players. Now it is just on some stomach of the bomb side. Sure, a lot of pressure mounting, but remember, they still got a kill on the A side, so they don't even have to commit on B. SoulSoul will evade the nade, and this round, yeah, it's looking over. Koi will get themselves 8. I do agree, though. I mean, I've definitely felt like TNL, they needed to get that 5th round because, sure, the difference between 3 rounds and 4 rounds don't seem like that much, but that could basically be just a win against a pistol round, a 4 spy, and then comes up the eco. Suddenly, it's an even game if it's a 5-7 scoreline. But now, 4-8. And Koi, this T side has been looking good. Again, I'm gonna wax lyrical about them. They've played some solid Counter-Strike. Sure, they found some monumental opener frags with just spraying through the smoke, but at the same time, I like the fact that this team is able to play aggressive when they have to. They can slow down the pace to just toy with their opponents. And I also feel like individually, like this team is fired up. They're looking solid. Let's see if they can keep up the same level of pace moving forward.
Yeah, silly as it sounds, in CSGO, right, the difference between taking 6, 7, or 8 rounds in a half wasn't too great. Oh, what a start from SoulSoul. But yeah, here, the difference between 3, 4, and 5, absolutely huge. Davik tapping away. Trades are brilliant, and after such a terrible start, trying to go for that mid-drop, they've actually recovered it nicely. SoulSoul takes a 3rd, but this Glock still rattling off shots. And there's a dink, but it's through the corner of the walls. Dododo's taking a hit, and there's the peak to finish him. Zogan is going nuclear, and he will follow up for a triple. TNL do the all-important. And they break the curse. They take a 5th round. They got off to a lightning start on their T side, and we might still have a grand finals on our hands. At the halfway point, I wanted to point out, right, Khan was fantastic in that first half. Yukitoro was okay, put up some decent numbers, but missed some key shots. But everyone else, it felt like they were asleep at the wheel. Now's the time to wake up and steer this car back on course.
Yeah, it's definitely a solid start as well. Not to mention now, Koi have gone for the 4 spy, so this might be a curse or a blessing, depending how you want to look at it. On the side of Koi, they're not going for any ballsy plays just yet. Of course, Dodo is feeling a lot of pressure, so he will just back away from that position. Despite him buying the utility, having the utility to work with it, does not deter someone like Yukitoro to play aggressive with the MAC-10. So while mid-control is firmly in the hands of the T's, looks like a commitment on the A-bomb side is just about likely, and with that mid-presence, yeah, they've done a really good job of just cutting off any rotations, because if the CTs want to enter the site, it will be so difficult, but now, Postal getting that frag gives a bit of a chance for Koi. Remember, Adam S is still with the rifle, can dish out some good damage on the players entering A site. David getting a frag as well, and sure, that bomb plant coming right through. Oh, what a nasty nade. But I feel like the CTs might be able to make good work of this round. There we go, plenty of frags. And now it is just Lonesome Karn in a 1v1 against Mawpaws, who has taken Tour de Anubis to see the sights, sure, but he also wants to win the round. He's making a lot of noise, and Karn, will he go in for the peak? He's going for the full 10-second defuse. Oh, he's going for it. Oh, Karn, 44 points of health, will be able to secure the round win. But oh man, was that a close round?
Wow. Yeah, that was basically unwinnable, right, for Mawpaws, unless he just commits to the defuse. If he had a kit, he had that. Without it, a full 10-seconder, it's bold, it's ballsy. And, yeah, you can sort of see Khan worrying a little bit there, because you don't want to peek in that situation. More than likely, it's a fake tap, but you can't just sit and wait for 10 seconds and let him do you dirty like that. It came way too close for comfort, but it is still a round they win. Now, that has maybe done TNL some favours, because whereas Koi would ordinarily eco in this round, because it came so close and they found 4 kills, they've gone for another 4 spy. So 4 MP9s out, a FAMAS, another great opportunity for TNL to not only take a 7th round here, but actually tie things up. Because if they win this round, Koi will definitely up to Eco, and then it will go 8-8. And this one's starting off a little bit better. Yuki Toro with a big kill, and info on the second player.
He's got to be very careful of Canals, but he should be able to isolate this one. Oh, wow, how does Soso survive for as long as he does? Now that's enough time for Adam to get in his position. David comes up huge with the FAMAS. Now down to the 2v2. Again, a very close round, but also take a look at the bomb. It's dropped all the way in T-spawn. Sure, Zogan is able to recover it, but that's a lot of time being wasted. What could have been a bomb plant? Yeah, at this point, they could very easily just commit towards the B bomb site, and you can see the CT is not wasting any time. They're going to book it fast.
Zogan's going to hear this. Okay, I think they actually wrap... No, I don't know anymore. Yeah, they're going to wrap back to the A site. So they could have had the freebie kill onto Water. I think they heard that sound cue a little bit too late. And now they quite literally have all the space in the world. In fact, I think it's even when this bomb goes down, it's even going to take Mopols and Adam S a couple of seconds to realise that it's not B. As they draw closer and closer, yes, still shift walk in, still think it's B, still think it's B, still think it's B, still think it's B. Come on, guys, you can't hear the bomb. It's not B. They're thinking, this is really quiet. Why is no one peeking? Why is the bomb not beeping? They must have realised. They've definitely realised by now, and they're now playing for the save call. So, you know, I'm not sure what they really bring into this next round, considering... Again, they've done like half decent damage, and they've got 2 rifles saved, and they've got a bit of a loss bonus built up as well. They could even maybe go for another buy around this. You think like Adamas and Mopols are going to have enough money, they could drop 2 FAMASes over and still have a decent buy here. In fact, Adamas could drop an M4 if he's feeling really funky. So maybe they go for another investment. But yeah, TNL still consistently taking these rounds, and they play that 2v2 scenario perfectly.
Well, looks like you're right about it. They're gonna go for the purchase. And yeah, in that 2v2 scenario, I mean, I absolutely get it why they think that going towards the B-bomb side is the right choice. I mean, so many gunfights that just happen on that A side of the map. It just makes a lot of sense to think the T's will commit towards B, an area of the map that has no defenders, but at the same time, great little readjustment from TNL wins them the round outright. And now they are coming in with a lot of pace in this one. Once again, this has been the bane of Koi's existence. They've been so good at the fast plays. Oh, what is that, Onyx? Mac Daddy in your face. The Dodo and Adam S. Last 2 players left standing. And that round just ends in the span of, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds.
Wow, wow, wow. This is the TNL that we've been missing, yeah? This is the TNL that we saw on Mirage. Full confidence. And, oh, it's just beautiful. I love the fact Onyx didn't need to buy a Mac 10 there. He had more than enough money, yeah? That was out of choice. He went for that Mac 10, and I absolutely see why. He had the perfect spawn to send it through connector. He finds himself that double entry. He then gets himself an AK on the upgrade, and wow, wow, wow. That's going to tie things up at 8 apiece. Koi don't even have the opportunity to upgrade to Dodo's MP9. He's lucky to get out alive with it. And to be honest, I feel like this is where now they need to go for that half buy and have a proper investment in the follow-up. If they just throw themselves at another half-assed investment where they say, yeah, you know what, we've got like 3.5k, we can still make something work here, but not have that AWP, not have that util, they're going to be met by the same kind of force from TNL, and they're going to have problems. Another tac pause called. It's been a little while since we had one. Remember, we had about 5 in the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised to note that Koi still has at least some of those pauses left in them. But yeah, I feel like this is where things are starting to get a little bit scary. That previous round was an exact repeat of what we would see on Mirage constantly, like TNL, super fast pace to enter an A or B bomb site. And we just saw that Koi thinking, okay, there's no way in the world they're going to go as aggressive as they did. I'm just going to chuck in my smoke grenade, pull the pin. Oh, there's already bullets flying towards me. So this is the one thing Koi has to really keep in mind. TNL can really play some fast-paced CS. If anything, you have to be super careful when deploying those grenades. And you can see Soso this time around, he's got a nade out, but he's just right behind the corner just in case. And Card, he's not going to give a damn about it. A great opener on the A-bombs at the one side of the map that usually has just that one defender on it.
He's raining in. It's another good start from TNL. South Seoul gone early. And it is just that half investment, which is absolutely what's needed. MP9. Oh. Not going to find it. Trades are good. Double man advantage now in TNL's favour. This bomb will go down. I mean, Davik and Mopars have nothing to lose here by going for this. They're going to be on the buy in the next round anyway. They've got these MP9s. They can find a couple of kills. Not only will they get that kill reward bonus, but also the opportunity to...
Oh!
Davik?
he was scratching his face just for the player.
Was he? I wasn't looking at the camera. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's mega unlucky. I think that just goes to tell that if you want to be good at CS, no beards. Less scratching, more shooting.
9-8. TNL have taken the lead. I don't believe it. Absolutely wild scenes here. Unfolding on our third and final map of the grand finals. This time they tap the brakes a little bit. They know they're against a solid buy.
So it's no wonder that they're gonna play this one once again with one of their players' stomach pushing first, and despite the flashbang, it wasn't enough to deter Dodo. It's a really good opening frag. And that smoking connector is about to fade. And Davik could be in a whole world of trouble. Oh, I think he noticed that there were a few players behind that smoke, but he abandons his post. That's big. That gives a big chance for TNL to just walk out B connector, and the CTs are completely unaware of what's going on. Is this really part of the game plan? The CTs, right about now, in good position. Davik picks up one. Mopaz right behind the obelisk. Should be an easy place to clear. Mopaz gets one, goes in for seconds, but is quickly dispatched. And now you have Hard ready and waiting, gets the player out of mess, and that leaves Dodo in unwinnable position. So TNL just crouch walk their way onto the bomb site, and you saw how successful they were.
Dodo still having a go at this. I mean,
yeah,
I'm kind of surprised that he sticks around for as long as he does. But he will get out of there with that AWP. Again, a valuable weapon to be carried across into the next.
Hey, looks like he's gonna save the snap rifle at least. But all in all, that was some beautiful timing for TNL as well. I felt like, you know, the CTs were kind of anticipating that this might just be a hit on the B bomb side, but they did not expect it how quickly TNL would just walk up B connector. And yeah, that was super great for TNL. Really good timing. Quite surprised that Davik really does abandon his post like super early there in B connector. I thought that at the very least he might just want to, you know, keep a close eye on that position. But then again, looks like they decided to play for the retake. So if he stays in connector, he's basically a sitting duck, because there could be players popping out of B main and there would be just no one to back him up. So fair enough, but that does give a huge opening for TNL. 10 rounds as well, and just look, 6 rounds in a row as well. Not just the pistol round victory, but now gun round victories as well.
Three away from the finish line. Koi with a big old buy hit. Of course, they've got the max loss bonus. But losing this round would strike disaster for them. Run boost for the Mag 10 again. Look at that from Onyx. It's the B site, the Achilles heel of this defense. They know that there's one in the corner as well. Double stack with the nades, Mopos. No mercy shown, and on it keeps the kills coming. A double entry with that SMG. A span through the smoke for the third. And Koi are down and out. This is as bad as it gets. And they have to save these weapons. I said before, right? Money is a problem here for them, losing this round. If they can hold on to these couple of weapons, then it gets a little bit easier. The problem is that TNL have kind of got nothing to lose. They've got players on 5 figures. They've got more than enough money to buy out till the end of the game. So they can hunt here. Southside making it that little bit harder, but a lovely flashbang. And the AWP finished off. Trades back. Southside just trying to stay alive. Best case, it's going to be one rifle saved into the next, and that's becoming increasingly unlikely. Southside just fighting for his life, but it will be the Tech-9 and the AK Crunch duo to find him. Make it 11 for TNL. Force Koi onto what has to be either a scrappy force buy or a half investment and playing for OT here.
No timeouts left as well. So they have to face the consequences head on. And, well, looks like it's not going to be like a full commitment in this round. They're just going to go for, I guess you could call a partial investment, at least keeping $1,000 to the bank so that if push comes to shove, they'll have just enough money for the reinvestment. But that is already a big change for Koi. Look at the aggressiveness we're seeing in water. Able to dish out some damage, but again, not a good start. It's Stomach to pick up the first. A player in B connected, that's an awkward position, but that one smoke might just delay the push just enough for backup to arrive. So look at some of these players. Okay, they actually take care of Karn. That gives a chance for Davik to help out the B bomb side. And now, I feel like TNL, they have been super fast in some of these rounds, but this is where they really gotta hit the brakes, slow it down, and just maybe wait a little bit, which is something we haven't really seen much out of TNL.
An advantage here for Koi. Don't get aggressive into B main though. This could be where it all goes wrong. The rifle's holding for it. Adam still wins the fight. And the thing is, right, it's the fact that they've still got 2 MP9s and they're still both so low on health. Leaves the door open here for that opportunity to just line them up, spray it down, take it back their way. They're going to go into the stacked bomb site, but one that they have information of. It's a good molly. It's going to force the MP9 out, but the rifle can't deliver. Trade back from the fire. One bullet onto Adam S would finish him. And swapping back to the AWP, Yukitoro knows, yeah, there is now no time on this. He'll back it up. Try and save this sniper, I guess. In fact, he'll bait them into the peak. Yeah, 8 seconds left. This one is absolutely done, but at least he has the last say in the matter.
Counter-terrorists win.
Fair enough as well. Making sure he recovers the snap rifle without giving a chance to someone like Koi to pick up the op. But now that I look at Sadoto's bank account, he does have just enough money to bring out the snap rifle if needed. And there we go. It will be purchased. At least Koi, in terms of purchasing power this time, they're looking much better than what we just saw. Then again, I feel like, you know, TNL's aggressive playstyle is really the bane of Koi's existence. I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some more fast plays coming out from guys like Stomak. Once again, looks like he's getting super close B connector. Might just chuck in the Molotov, go in for the play. There we go. Oh my goodness, that is unbelievable. What?
That's so sick. And what a time for it as well. Stomak, look at the determination on his face. He's back to just going for these wildly aggressive entries. Can't. Does lose his life, but refrags there. Trade is back onto Adam. And a 4v2. Koi completely out of position. Sonic around this corner. Lovely stuff. Stadoto has to save. It's going to go 12-9. 3 chances for TNL. 3 map and series points. Championship points to be crowned the Galaxy Battle Series Season 4 champions. Last time around, they came top 4, right? They had a decent run. They just weren't able to make it past the Drillers in that semi-finals. This time they've overcome greater hurdles. And they might be wearing the crown at the end of this one.
I mean, you're right about it as well. I mean, that run they had to go through, like, fair enough, you could say the first best. There are some caveats because Monty Gen had to use the stand-in. I believe also TNL had to use the stand-in of their own on the second map. So fair enough. Okay, that win right there probably is not the most beautiful win they could have achieved, but fair enough. They got it. Then you look towards their next opponent, Na'Vi Jr. Like, that is by far the hardest opponent they'd have to face off against, and they managed to win it against Na'Vi Jr. That was insane. That victory right there could have been a grand final in its own right, but here as well, we're seeing some great Counter-Strike coming from both teams. Oh man, TNL, they're back to basics. It will be just a fast push through B connector, but this time, not the same result. Davik doing fantastic work. SoSol gets a frag of his own, and maybe he'll have to play a few more rounds to decide the victor of this best of 3.
Logan, alright. Thought he'd maybe give us a little bit of magic there, but no, it will go 12 to 10. Of course, TNL more than enough cash to reinvest, so they will just have another stab at it. But yeah, trying to keep up that pace. I think finally Koi have learned how to deal with it. Maybe a little bit too late, but it's not over yet. And these guys, I mean, if there's one thing that major experience comes with, it is the fact that they've been in this position plenty of times. You know, backs against the wall, down a couple of rounds, have to take it back to OT in a high pressure situation.
Just look at the pace as well. What's this? TNL playing safe? Haven't seen this in a while. And right now, they might just be given an unbelievable opportunity to just walk out mid. Not really having to face any opponents, but there's 2 men set up near camera for the CTs, like, it's pretty good. SoSol will try to win the first gunfight. They peek out 1 by 1, but there comes in the double peek. Not enough time to deploy a smoke grenade, so Adames will use his trigger fingers to dispatch of 2. Karn does go down in mid as well, leaving it all up to Lonesome Yukitoro. And 1v3, and luckily the bomb is on his shoulders, but if you're Koi, you do not want to face this player. In fact, they don't seem to be 100% sure where he's playing at, so at least that gives Yukitoro the chance to punch in the digits and get that bomb planted.
AWP in hand. He's got the right idea here as well. Davik just around this corner. The problem is all the time he's wasting holding. There's going to be time that the camera players start to work their way up. I don't think Yukitoro is now going to expect Davik to pounce. It's perfectly played from Koi. It has to be said. They play that situation beautifully. And again, an opportunity for a bit of magic out of TNL. Something special to get it over the line. It just doesn't happen.
I feel like as well the spacing from TNL was a little bit awkward when it came to entering the A bomb site itself. Surely the first player he peeks out is able to spot out Adames, but then the second guy should just be dead on to get that frag. That was not the case. Adames once again doing a great job on the hold. TNL, money-wise, looking just about okay to get this final purchase in. And what is that from Mapaz? A super aggressive play. And no chance to refrag. He ends up dying, and suddenly TNL have a pretty good chance coming into this round. Oh no. Oh no, it's Stomach.
Surely not. Adam's taken one back. He's stopping this ship from sinking, at least for the next few seconds, but with the bomb going down, and the molly locking him out. This just feels done. There's another one. TNL have had so much time to get into better spaces here. And they are now locked and ready.
Doing a phenomenal job to stop that push from happening, but hold on just a sec. 2 big frags from the CTs. Oh no!
It's just loads of Yukitoro! What was that from Koi? How did they manage to win this round? The Spaniards, they bounce back from a 4v2. They complete the retake on A, and that is just devastating for TNL.
Oh, yeah, that's gotta be one that they have nightmares about if they can't close this out. That was a round that was set in the stars. They shouldn't have lost it. They should not have lost it. McCoy somehow claw it back. But just showing that they can be such a great side. They are so resilient. Mopos is having a bad map, but in his absence, Salsol is having a lights-out performance, showing that he's not to be underestimated, even after a bit of a rough patch. And a shaky start to this series. He is a huge piece of the puzzle, a huge reason why Koi are having some success here. And we're even in this position in the first place. Stomac so desperate to try and find this entry as he has done so many times in this series. Bombarded with nades, has to take a step back.
Hasn't really played this position, but now he uses it to full effect. He dispatches of 2. They know the position of Adam. It becomes a lot easier to just take control of the bomb site. That is a very bizarre play. I mean, that could have easily just killed Stomac. At least he's got the element of surprise to eliminate, yep, Stododo. So this round is looking a lot better for TNL. And they absolutely needed a good start here in OT.
Yeah, I was actually really worried that that was going to be sort of, that's it, that's their fumbled chance, right? They move into OT and maybe the frustration sort of sets in that they've lost those rounds, those key opportunities. But no, they're back to winning ways. Definitely a telltale sign that there's a bit of nerves, right? There are 3 chances to hit 13. They weren't able to do so, and the second that the pressure's off, that's the one that they win. And there's no argument to be had for the fact that the money was problematic or anything of the sort. TNL had tons of cash. They had a full buy in all 3 of those rounds. It is just the fact that there's not as much weight on their shoulders here now that we're in overtime. They've got a bit of breathing room. Here we go again. Stododo with his AWP, looking for the fight in mid. Yukitoro's got one of his own, but he's leaning over towards B. In fact, 4 of them are. I'm going to try and put the pressure on early.
Yeah, this is a position we haven't seen Davik take, but this time around he does. Back away to safety. Those deep smokes in water can be super effective with the CT side, but once again, usual TNL shenanigans. A simple push through the smoke. Davik able to wrap up. Got Mopos chopping in as well, and this round is looking over and done with. The CTs have a great hold. The flashbangs didn't do a good enough job. And now Yukitoro. What the hell?
Okay.
Okay.
Crash is averted. That was a huge whiff from Davik, but yeah, alright. 13 apiece. Decent round back from Koi. TNL just denied at the B site there. It's felt like the only bomb site that they've actually really consistently been able to just brute force their way into. But now, quite a scary prospect. You've got a CT side stacked up with 3 AKs. Going into the final round of the first half of OT1.
$13. Let's see that Stododo still playing the sniper and opted to go for a rifle. TNL really slowing down the pace, especially from that. I think it's fair to say disaster the previous round. That's a good nade as well. Karn does go down in that position. With the CTs having an opening frag, especially after they've gone aggressive, there's really no need to display any more aggression. They can just hope to rely on their default setup, especially this one. They have 3 players close by the A side, and they're even gonna re-aggress. Okay. Lonesome Onyx to go up against. Should be good for the CTs, and it is. They get the 1 frag, they can back away, and they still maintain the advantage. So the ball is in the hands of TNL. Sure, they have the bomb to work with, but where did you go from here? Because at the very least, you could be expecting 2 players on either bomb side.
This is still very winnable. Obviously, having a man disadvantage here isn't ideal, but this is very winnable. And they could really do with this round, given the fact that their CT side was as weak as it was, especially in the gun rounds. Holding with the AK. That is lovely from Adam S. Now the AWP. Oh no, Stad! Caught in a very bad timing, jumping up. Adam now needs to go big. They should know that he's here. No, they don't. They think he's regressed into main. Trade is there, but Zogan now has a 2v1 to pull off, and he's only got 8 seconds. He needs to get on this plant, and he needs to get on it now, and he just doesn't have time. Second he gets onto this, Mopos will peek and finish him. It's 14-13. Koi bite back after taking it to OT, and they are now teed up to take this their way.
I think they're going to be really happy of the fact that they got those 2 rounds right, because we have seen in the past as well, there's evidence of it, guys, that Koi is just a better team on the T side. It feels like on the CT side, they tend to struggle just a bit more than other teams of a similar caliber. And right now, T side, this is where you open up the big book, the strat book, and you go in deep. See what sort of strat you want to pull out against a team like TNL, and if you got at least 2 good strats, that could be enough. But you also got to hit your shots, and that is not a good start. Stoma able to get 1. Oh wow, Mopos, that's a very sick angle. Wins the headshot duel, and that stops any more aggression from TNL.
Okay, 4v4, break-even point. Zogan needs to win this fight, though. This is a real and true 50-50. And Davik has a very good idea he's in the corner. Zogan only has a sort of slight inclination that maybe there's one on the other side of it, so he'll lose out. Now the man advantage for Koi. In a key round, Yuki Toro playing anti, knows the flash is coming, he's absolutely right. Orp scoped in. There's a smoke to his right-hand side, so he can just focus on the con player. But again, it's another whiff shot at a key time. Can't hit the spray transfer. And Onyx left by himself. He's found the first. He's got the bomb off of the plant. He's spotted the AWP, surely not like this. Now has to find another rifle, doesn't want to reload. And the bomb is on a mission elsewhere. SouthSoul darting all the way over towards the A site. Onyx worried that there's a bit of a fake and that maybe he is still lingering. That's going to waste valuable time. And as the bomb is planted, now he can start to get some wheels on. But he has no idea where SouthSoul resides, and he's only got a flashbang to force him out.
Oh, I wonder if SouthSoul is going to go for just a broader peek here in water. You should realize that if a player hasn't appeared in these 20 seconds, like, yeah, he's going to come from mid, preferably. Oh, no, he's just going to go for the long defuse. Oh, no, I think he might have just done it. Oh, no, the defuse comes in. And Onyx single-handedly wins this round. Strong hands on the trigger, but great hands when it comes to defusing bombs as well.
Oh, it's just heartbreak. That's a 1v3 and a round that they should never be losing. And now we've got both sides that have had one of those moments that will haunt them. Whoever pulls ahead and getting deja vu there, Danny. We had one of those moments a couple of weeks ago. Exactly like that in the 1v1. Just balls of steel. And the main player going a little too deep. And that's the problem with A-main here on Anubis. You know, you want to actually be in cover. You actually want to try and cut off the water rotate if one comes. You end up being a little too far away. Stomax spotted one. Could have had a freebie kill, but fell off the ledge. Does have the information regardless. This is bold from Zogan. A bit too dangerous to continue jump spotting there. He's just going to dial it back. Well-timed smoke.
Yeah, this is starting to get really difficult and intense. I wonder if Stomach is just gonna go for the play. Maybe deploying the smoke would be a better choice, but he's inching his way forward. Flash being deployed. They're able to spawn out one. Really aware of the second player now, Albino. And this is making the push on the side a lot more difficult, but Zogan doesn't end up dying in that position. Sosol, it really finds good timing. Oh, they should be aware they're bumping into each other.
Oh. Stomach's way more aware that he's hit something there than I think Sousol is, but yeah, here's the steps now. We deploy that smoke, and Stomach's happy to just sort of back up, play for the retake kit. They've managed to delay this plant. Ukitoro walking up, sees the legs, can't connect the shot, and biting off a little more than he can chew. Can't. Gets a new lease on life as that first shot not connected. Doesn't matter on the repeak. There's even more resistance to meet him. And Stomach now left all by himself. 1v4. And he knows, yeah, this round's done. It's a shame. He could have found himself a freebie a little bit earlier on. Oh my god, he's going to go for a ninja defuse. He doesn't care less about that kill. He wants to hit them where it hurts, and here it is, running out onto the site. There is still one in Temple that'll hear him, and yeah, swing out and deny it. Lucky that they kept out of mess around, because everybody else was out of there. That was bold. I actually love that. I love that attempt from Stomach.
Man, that was such a lovely attempt. Yeah, I mean, I had my hopes up. I really had my hopes up, but you also gotta wonder that if Stomach, perhaps if he were to stay at the B connector position, maybe that could have been a much better choice than to just, you know, go for the big flank where his teammates are just so close towards B bombs and they just have to go for the gunfight. So Stomach, so far behind.
I mean, if they find a couple of kills, right, his position is then really valuable. It's like, right, yeah, 1v1 and he's got, like, the main flank. Oh, he's perfect, but yeah, you're then sort of shifting the blame onto your teammates, right? You're putting all the pressure on them.
Really difficult situation now, you can see. Davik making the calls, giving intel. They know they win this round, they win the best of 3. And they're $5,000 richer. At the same time, though, they have no idea what to expect from TNL because they have shown a lot of aggression in the past, but this time you can see they're playing super safe CS, not giving anything away. And right about now, the TSDs have to start making their way. Their choice seems to be the A-bomb, so you have a few players here close by. There's the first point of contact. No one's really going for the peak, afraid to be the first to die for the team. Sosol with that Molotov will force the players back just a little bit further. But if they overstay their welcome here, we will see rotations from the CT side. It's the Dodo. Big frag on Stomach. Is that the change-up right now? Look at the CT's regressing over an A. Onyx with a big frag. Oh, a second frag to boot. This is looking good right now for TNL. Can they keep it up?
They need to. This next gunfight is everything, and there it is. Onyx takes it his way. Ukitoro holds true. And Onyx with the re-aggression. It's a 4K from him. In that last round, we're going to double OT, folks. Neither team are able to get it over the line. TNL have had their opportunities. They didn't have a shot at championship point here in OT1, but they hold true. They get it across. Maybe they'll have that chance here, second time round. We're ready to go all over again. What a grand final this is shaping up to be.
It definitely is. And you gotta wonder as well, I mean, Onyx make that split-second decision that, you know what, I'm just gonna keep on playing aggressive. Like, that was the game-winning play from him. But that's such a ballsy move to even consider. And look at this as well. You got Ukitoro going out wide. Stomach ends up dying again. That water push, it's so difficult if you still keep on playing for the frags, and there's really no way for you to back up. Luckily, Onyx there on the bridge could have been a very important piece of the puzzle, but now with 2 players dropped dead, Koi, you have a really good chance to win a round like this, and now it's no wonder TNL making ballsy steps in the mid-round.
It's a shame they get off to such a rocky start here in OT2 after such a brilliant round in the last. Decent trade back from Kern. Doesn't change the fact that it's a 4v2. And Mopos has just realised that the B site is empty. So that's going to be an easy route around for the bomb to go and get itself planted. And yeah, lovely stuff.
And it will be now 16 for Koi. Arguably, the aggression from TNL this time is fruitless. In fact, all they get is just rotten fruit. A bad start indeed. Down 2 players becomes so difficult to bounce back, so you have 2 options from there on out. Basically, you just turtle up on one of the bomb sites and hope this is the bomb site your opponents will hit, or you just keep on playing aggressive and hoping for the best. So we saw TNL choosing the first option, and well, I like the fact that, you know, Koi, instead of just fully committing towards the A bomb site, they still have, you know, 1 player. I think it might have been Mopos or Adam S close by B. He just clears out the side and he tells Info that, yeah, guys, there's no one here, so why should we even consider A an option? Let's just group up, take control of the B bomb site, and just win the round from there on out. So a good start there for Koi. Surely, to get a start like that is not going to happen a second time in a row, right?
I don't know, but it just, you know, you feel so bad for the loser now. Whoever, somebody's got to win here, right? And if this was just a decisive third match, then you can say who's deserving. But at this point, you know, both teams have had their moments. Both teams have made their mistakes. And it's going to be a thin margin to get it over the line for one of these sides. TNL, realistically, should have just had it in regulation. Koi should have had it in OT1. And now we're here. Bombed out, beeping away. Orpa on the angle. Of course they're going to go for the retake. It's overtime. Cash isn't really a problem. And there's the first domino to fall. Is it going to knock over the next with a high flash? Orpa tucked away. They don't quite peek him, but he still misses his shot. And with the smoke on the bomb, Token's just on this defuse. But Mopos knows exactly where to line up. And there's no choice here but for Stomac to just commit to this. Slashing away with the knife. He's missed all the slashes. Oh my goodness. It doesn't get more awkward than that. Mopos knew exactly where to spam for the first, but panicked on the second because he'd wrapped around heaven. It's just chaos.
Yeah, that's a really good word to describe it. Chaos, because if I look back even the previous sort of overtime, there are rounds in which you see, okay, like Koi, that's a solid 4v3 post-plan situation. They should be able to win that one outright, and yet they fumbled the first few kills. The remaining players outside A have such a difficult time to get any of the frags. And luckily Mopos comes in clutch with the first frag, but not enough for the second. And yeah, Koi could definitely use that second round. Once again, the T side, I feel like this is where they're capable of winning rounds. We just saw in the previous one how successfully they've managed to take control of the A bomb side. Davik, I was wondering if he's going to go for the ballsy play and just push through the smoke, perhaps wrap around Temple. Haven't seen a single round in which Koi would attempt something like that, and looks like this one will be no different. They will just show off some presence in the middle, but will not maintain it.
Very, very slow. TNL. Ready to go. Here it comes. Nice shot from Stomac to get the ball rolling. Onyx with another as well. Stavig trades it back. Token's going to keep them coming. In fact, this is a rock-solid defense. TNL, a bit of breath of fresh air. The CT side that really has struggled, or was struggling at least in regulation. Shows us something a little bit different there. Mopos has managed to slip away with the bomb, and he's made this somewhat winnable in the 2v1. The problem is he's 4 HP. As he starts to move his way around, he is going to be cleared. Stomac takes him, and lovely, lovely work being done there. 17 to 16, TNL ahead, and now the ones with the chance to maybe close this out, the underdogs. And consistency has been everything for them here. I pointed out after the first 2 maps as well, right, that actually everybody on that TNL side was within a few kills of each other. Top fragger was 29 and 24, bottom fragger was 21 and 21. Whereas on the other side of things, it was pretty top heavy, right? Top fragger was 31 and 27, and bottom was 16 and 31. So there was like this huge disparity of like a clear star carrying and a clear sort of rock at the bottom. And that's still translating into this map here. Everyone on TNL is within 5 kills of each other. On the other side of the coin, SouthSoul's on 31 frags. Dododo's only found 12. He's having hardly any impact with this ore. And there's a huge, huge gap that needs to be bridged here.
I think we should also think about the clutch factor as well, because think of OT, and TNL has already won 2 rounds on the back of clutches, which is something that goes to show that even though Koi was in some good positions to win rounds, I mean, all we gotta think about that 1v3 on B, and also the A bomb set retake. And admittedly, TNL, the fact that they're winning these rounds, sure, by slim margin, that really screws up the mental of Koi, because they know they should have been able to just be over and done with this 3rd and final map, and yet struggling OT as well. But this might just be a good chance for TNL. Look at this, they're gonna enter the B bomb site that has known defenders on it. They decided to go for a bit of a gamble, having a lot of players in middle, which of course means that it will be pretty quick when it comes to the rotates, but then again, a 5v5 retake on B.
I don't get this from Koi. The B bomb site was constantly a pressure point for them. And it's such a difficult one to retake as well, and they've just given it up. They're playing the retake configuration 4 coming in from CT. It's a very fast shot from SouthSoul. He has been a tough cookie to crack this map. But on the repeats, the trades are there, and it's perfect. Back down to the 2v2. Mopos coming in from main. Orpa misses the shot. That could be the grave mistake that costs them. It's the Dodo on the defuse, and no, Mopos will cover him. And it's going to be tied up at 17 apiece. It's the Orp again missing these key opportunities, and it's losing them rounds.
Alright, I'll take back what I said. It looks like Koi can also come in clutch when it matters most. Mopos and Stododo, fantastic work on the B bomb site. And man, oh man, like these rounds, they're just... It's so hard to say who's gonna come out on top, right? Because even there, the 5v5 retake, you're thinking, right, I mean, TNL well entrenched on the B bomb site, and yet, they struggle when it comes to picking up the frags. And so, Koi, maybe a round like that rejuvenates the CT side, but it's still a long haul. Gotta win a few more rounds to secure the victory. It won't be easy. Adam, though, has been so good at getting multi-kills, and here in mid, it's no different. Karn takes matters into his own hands and picks up a big frag. It will try to slow him down, but by slowing him down, and actually pick up the frag, yes, they do. Man, oh man, it's looking good for Koi.
Yukitora. Again, there's not a lot to lose here. I'll have a go at this, of course, but yeah, this is nowhere near as winnable as the round prior. Doesn't quite clear the corner, so David's got him. He saw the barrel coming from a mile away. He was always going to be quicker to the trigger. 18 to 17. And we're on series point again here, Koi. TNL money is actually a bit of a problem here. There's not going to be an AWP. Just the rifles. Yukitoro goes without head armor. And a little bit of a lack of util as well. So, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the be-all, end-all. But it is a little bit concerning. It's all or nothing here. Triple OT or bust. The Ukrainian side. They need this. They need something here.
Well, it looks like they might just return back to basics. We have loads of stomach getting close B connector, but not close enough to pose any real danger just yet. At the same time, Koi want to make sure they don't let anyone die without a fight. All players being relatively safe. Tolol is the only one trying to regress in mid, just to show off some presence from the CT side. Make sure it's not that easy to take. But also, right about now, just look at the Koi rotation. Slowly but surely, all those players getting close towards the B-bomb site. You have util as well. Weapons are there. Flash comes in, but it's good so far for Adamus as he picks up 2 big frags. That will slow it down. In fact, no, that will stop the push in its entirety. And TNL is back to the drawing board.
And they haven't got a lot of time to cook up something new. There's 40 seconds left on this clock. Zogan already starting to route his way through mid. Southsalt dialing it back a tad as well. He's got Stododo there on the A site with him. He's over towards Heaven with that AWP. He's been a bit of a problem so far this map. Jump across. That's the bait. But, oh, Onyx needed that instant trade. And he makes a meal of it. Now it's all onto Yuki Toro. Time and time again, he's left in these clutch situations. Normally, he has an AWP. This time, it's the AK. But Stododo wins the battle with a P250. And Koi are your Galaxy Battle Season 4 champions. My, oh my, they had to fight hard for that. And it's brutal. It's brutal for TNL. I can't help but feel bad for them. They had so many opportunities. They just couldn't get it over the line.
No, they really couldn't. And I mean, there were so many close moments, and you can't even go far as to say that maybe TNL was looking just that tad bit more better in those OT situations, because we gotta just remember the fact that they won out like what, 2 or so clutches in overtime, which a team like, you know, Koi, who's got the experience, they should not be messing up a 1 versus 3, for example, and yet some big mistakes were made. Eventually, they have what it takes to secure the victory. And there we go. Like I said earlier, I mean, in ESL Challenger, that was basically the last like proper grand final Koi appeared at, and that was all the way back in June. And now with the addition of SoSol, they have what it takes to not only appear in the grand final, but also win. Fair enough, they had to win against some proper opposition in the form of 9 Gaming Gladiators, but the real task definitely came here when you're going up against such a individually strong team like TNL. They were able to definitely give them a kicking on the first map. Mirage was such a one-sided affair, and then we saw Koi bouncing back on the second map of Nuke, and in fact having what it takes to put us into overtime, winning out that incredible 2v4, and then of course still having what it takes, still having enough juice left in the tank to secure the win in double overtime.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, for a team like Koi, right, a team that's been playing in Pro League, that's qualified for majors and things like this recently, like literally this year, this game should have been a little bit of a breeze, right? They had to fight really, really hard for it. But we cannot discount the fact that this is by far and away, this Season 4 has been the most competitive season that we've had of Galaxy Battle, and they had the hard end of the bracket, right? So they did have to beat 9, they did have to beat Gaming Gladiators. They've had the most difficult run, I really feel, in this tournament so far, and yeah, they get there and they crown the champions. So big congratulations to them. I hope that it's a morale boost before Christmas as well. As we said, these guys have had a bit of a rough year so far, to be honest, and yeah, I mean, a huge kudos to them. They had to fight very hard for it at the end there.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, and it's great to see, you know, I feel like, you know, either team kind of deserved to win to some extent, would have been a nice narrative. I feel like for TNL, the fact that they managed to win against some proper teams there in the quarters, the semis, whatnot, but also, you know, great to see that Koi, they've made the roster change, the first one in 10 months, and they already appear in a grand final, win it, not in the most convincing fashion, but either way, a win is a win. So, that's going to be it for us, guys. Thank you all for tuning in to the broadcast. Of course, Galaxy Battle will continue making some more tournaments. Be sure to check us out on Twitter as well as Twitch. My name has been Sir Danny. I've been joined here by M&J. You can see our Twitter handles right there. You can check him out. Be sure to give us a follow. And guys, thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you all next time. Have a good one, folks.